Good morning, everybody. Yeah, you thought the show had been cancelled. Well, there's no such luck. We're back, and we're back with a vengeance. So we got a new look and old faces. Look who we brought back for a special visit to the show. None other than the former producer, Ryan, who people have been saying, actually, that we should have got you in a long time ago because you would have taught James and we wouldn't have had so many technical fuck-ups. But look at it. I mean, good that you're here, Ryan. How are you?
No, I'm very good, thanks.
And alongside him, Leigh-Ass Mol.
Yes.
Back in triumphant glory. We've missed you for a little bit too.
Yeah, it's been a bit on again, off again.
How are you?
But I'm here. All good.
Yeah, the hottest weekend ever this
Yeah.
weekend. It was absolutely insane. By the way, I'm waiting to hear all the comments from people about what they think of the new set. Ryan walked in and said, it looks like Larry King's office. So I said to him, just remember, Larry King is dead, so his office is underground. That's not a good start. But yeah, it was an incredibly, incredibly hot weekend. I spent like most of it moving stuff around, and we had our Christmas carols,
Oh, yes.
which we have every year. It's like a family thing, and get together, and there are about 100 people, and everybody sings carols. It's all really nice and festive, and it's, you know, the start of the Christmas season for me. And it was lovely. But damn, was it a lot of work.
A lot of work and in the heat.
Oh my God, I was so exhausted last night. I got into bed at like 6:30, which is embarrassingly early. You know,
That's an afternoon nap.
I know, and I feel so old even telling this story. But I got into bed at 6:30, and I was like going through messages and like sorting out some stuff for the show this morning. And I was going to send a whole lot of clips to James, and I just went, I can't anymore. And
Ooh, power down.
but it's been hot since you arrived back from Ireland.
Oh my God.
Which is the opposite.
Yeah,
So how was Ireland, dude? What did you get up to there?
it's been great. So I went over there just to visit. I think I spoke to you about it just before I left. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if I was going to stay there forever
Yeah.
or if I was going to.
By the way, just look
go on
how much
holiday.
bigger Ryan is than Leanne.
I'm just noticing.
And that's not the cameras.
I'm not complaining.
By the way, that's not the cameras. Ryan is literally a giant, and Leanne compared to him just looks tiny. She looks like she's a little tiny. This is her real size. This is Leanne compared to Ryan. Hi. Hi, I'm Ryan. Hey, this is Leanne Mol. Very nice. Okay, so sorry,
man.
I interrupted you.
No, it's all good. So I was there for about a month
Yeah.
before actually deciding if I wanted to stay or not. And during that month, I also applied for some work just to see what would happen. I had to make the decision, obviously, if I was going to stay or not. And managed to land a job. And we found a place eventually, like after.
What were you doing, though?
What?
I mean, a job could be anything from
Oh,
sweeping the
so,
streets to...
You literally apply for anything. Like,
Any prostitution?
no,
You
At
never
least you
know,
have to
right?
work harder than sweeping
I
streets.
rocked up like so confident. I went to the radio stations. I was like knocking on their front door. I was like, guys, I'm a producer from South Africa. I just want to see how you guys do things. They're like, so you can't go in.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, why not? All of a sudden. But
What, did
I
they
just
just don't
applied.
trust you because of your accent?
No, it's like, you worked at a radio station when they don't let people, they don't just let randoms in.
You can't just walk in.
No, you can't just
I mean,
walk
we
in.
used to have walk-ins at the SABC, though. Leanne will remind you. We used to have people who'd walk in and just shit. Remember? Homeless
Yeah, so
people.
we'd come in just to shit.
Yeah,
you guys
they-
are like, you guys like fish in a fish tank there, in a fish
well,
bowl. Like.
it was worse than that because the SABC is a public institution. They can't exactly shut their doors. The public have to be allowed in, right?
Yeah.
So that includes like homeless drifters and drug addicts and
Oh, no,
Everyone,
on
anyone
Tik-
off the street could come in.
So they
and,
would come in
yeah, they would
take a shit.
go up the glorious escalators
and then
to the heavenly loos that we all
Yeah.
were using.
and we had to use those loos too. Now, I got to tell you, our loos here this morning are not looking so great either. It looks
Yeah,
like
but
there
not
was a
like-
party here over the weekend or something. And there
always
are a
like
lot
that.
of those going on at the moment. There are a lot of people who are having their end of year functions, and we've got ours on Thursday, guys. When is it? Yeah, Thursday. They've told us we're going to a bar somewhere, and like this bunch of frightened little schoolgirls that I work with are like, I don't know if that's a safe area. I'm like,
bar is this?
I mean, what are you talking about? We've got people like
What area is it in?
Michaela, who's from the South. She's not afraid. She's ready to fight.
Yeah.
That's all they do in the South. You know that,
Of course.
right? So we've got ours on Thursday, but they're all over the country having their end of year functions now. And the the weird thing is, like, it's always a group of people in every business who need to take it to the next level in terms of drinking
Oh yeah.
and partying hard.
Cheating on people.
And yeah, there's sleeping around
Yeah.
and all that kind of thing. And it happens, right? Way more than people will admit. And then there's so much embarrassment at work the next year
Ooh,
because those people encounter each other and they're like,
yeah. I think some people have to change jobs, move countries,
oh, it's horrible.
go to sleep and
horrible.
never wake up.
Okay, so you tried to find jobs in radio stations and that didn't work very well.
No, it didn't work very well. So I applied where my friend was working at Uber, and I managed to get the job. I got like an interview
Wow.
within 3 days.
As a driver?
No. So I work in the head office.
They're not
in-
just,
It's a fair question.
Uber's not just
No,
driving
can I tell you,
people.
Jane
It's
thought
the first
I've
job
been
at
a-
Uber that comes to mind.
Jane thought I was a driver for the longest time.
Yeah.
When I told her I worked at Uber, but no, they have head offices in Limerick, but it's more like a support building, I guess. But the job I'm doing isn't on the support side; it's more working with the
So are
councils
you
in the
going
UK.
back there?
Sorry.
Are you going back?
Yes, I'm going back.
Okay, because you're talking like you've still got the
Yeah,
job.
no. So I do still work there. Like one of the perks I have from working there is they give you a month
Oh, wow.
in every year to go and work in wherever you want to, like in a
Don't
different
say
country.
too much, otherwise we'll have to start giving these guys.
No, I know, and so
So you have to work for Uber here while
yes,
you're here?
yeah. So like I'm gonna be working a bit
Because I
later
do need a
today.
lift in about.
We only handle the UK.
Leanne
Leanne,
needs a
you know?
driver in a couple of minutes after the show. Okay, so I thought you'd fit in pretty well in Ireland
Yeah,
because you've got like that Irish complexion.
yeah.
Yeah.
So many people
Your,
have said that.
your
Yeah.
surname could pass for Irish.
Everybody says it's Irish
Can
here,
they?
but I take it
No.
over there, and
They don't know it.
they have no idea. So that was fun. But they have good crack over there. Like
Craig? As in drugs?
no, it's
Jesus.
crack is
I
like
also thought that.
no.
I'm like, what have you been doing?
Sorry, I forget. Like crack is like
Crack is a drug.
it's like banter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
here, crack is something that, again,
No, sure.
like people smoke from a pipe.
I forget. Like I've been there long enough now. When I
Or
first
from a
got there,
prostitute's asshole?
this is like when I first started working at Uber. Like there was some colleagues who invite me out to bars and stuff, and they're like, "No, you should come. It's good crack." And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
But I've adapted to crack has so many different
Okay, so
meanings
that's
over there
that's
now.
banter.
It's like banter.
Small talk,
Yeah, yeah.
laughs, fun. And
And
you're
like-
in Limerick, so do you learn any good ones?
Oh man.
Because everybody has to have a favorite.
Oh no, in Limerick it's completely different to Dublin. Like Dublin's very old, but it's so busy. Like I love Dublin, but I would hate to live there. I would like to move further up there, but I'm in the arse end of
But
Limerick
Ireland's
at the
very
moment.
pretty, right?
No, it
I mean,
is.
it's like it's gorgeously green. All those movies that they purport to be showing Scotland and are actually in Ireland. And a
Yeah.
lot of the Game of Thrones stuff was filmed there. And I
Liam
mean, it
Neeson's in
really is.
Limerick right now.
Is he?
Yeah, I got told by one of my colleagues actually shutting down one of the streets where, like, close to where we work,
Well, you
because
don't
he's
wanna-
busy shooting a movie.
Don't
there,
want to
like-
mess with
Not
Liam
at
Neeson.
all.
you know?
No. I mean, someone's kidnapped his daughter.
you, and I will kill you. So no, don't mess with him.
No.
That's cool though. Okay, so if you go to Ireland,
Yes.
you obviously, and all the Irish people I've ever met have to drink. You have to drink quite heavily.
Yes.
And I hate it sounding like that's a recurring theme on the show, but it really is. And Irish people drink heavily. Like they're very, very professional about it.
Yeah, no, it's casual.
And Guinness, you like?
No, I'm not a fan of Guinness. Also, for me to go
I'm not a
out, because
fan
I live
either.
in the countryside, I live an hour out from the city and anywhere decent to kind of go
Do
out.
you
So
drive?
I drive, but the problem is if you drive, you can't drink. Well,
Yeah. Especially if you drink, you're
well,
driving an hour. Yeah.
there's a worse like drinking and driving thing in Ireland than over here. I would say.
No.
Oh yeah, like sometimes I work late shift.
Yeah.
And then I'll be driving home on the main road, and you'll see cars behind me just like, or in front, they'll just be like drifting off because they come back from the bar late.
Wow.
And their cops don't pull them over. They have a thing called the
cops
Garda.
are drunk too.
They have a thing called the Garda, and they don't carry guns. They literally carry a baton, like a stick.
You gotta stop for that.
Not like it's.
Do people have any respect for them?
no,
No.
none at all. And they just give traffic tickets on the side of the road, and like we literally sit on like during our breaks and we watch these guys give traffic fines, and I just watch all my colleagues swear them shitless. Like it's so funny.
They've got police dogs and their teeth are made of rubber.
Well, I haven't even seen any police dogs there or Garda canines, whatever you want to call them.
So Carl says, Ryan realized what every expat realizes. SA is the best country in the world. You cannot have a better lifestyle if you're middle class in this country. You did say something like that on Twitter.
I did, and it went super viral because everyone wanted me to come on and talk about it, and I thought I have to come on here first.
But I think it's great that you admit that, because you don't have to choose. It doesn't mean that you can't go back to Ireland and have the fun that you want to have there. Experience different stuff.
Yeah.
But also it takes a little bit of insight and some experience to be able to come back and say that.
No, it does. And I remember working on the show, we used to talk to people who did it all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was producing, I was like, come on, guys, like, give us the real thing. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Like, don't come back and say that. We know it's good over there. Like, why? But then when you're over there, there's so many things. Like, for me to go out anywhere, it's at least an 40-minute drive to anywhere decent. Whereas here, there's like a McDonald's every 10 minutes, or like a garage or a shop, so super close. And living over there, it's very different. It makes you really appreciate the sun, firstly, because it's very cold over there. And
but I mean, you've had a full dose of that since you got back. Right?
Oh,
you got
yeah.
scorched.
I just thought I wasn't climatized. I've been back like a week and a half, and I promise you, I haven't. I know I've also brought back a lot of my winter clothes, because that's pretty much what I wear over there. But man, it is so hot. I can't sleep at night.
I promise you that the team have been testing the sound all weekend, because I see lots of comments here about how everybody, you all need to go away and come back again. The volume is messed up, can't hear a thing. It's not the Gareth Cliff show unless there's a studio problem, or the comment section ripping them a new one. Do you see all of this going on?
Oh my God!
Do you get messages from people who say that you need to come here and like smash James? Or
in the beginning I did.
In the head.
I like stopped dipping into the comments, like,
I know,
because in the beginning I did, and everyone's like, Ryan, you should come back. And
they get so violent and aggressive.
I know, but I'm looking at James has aged 5 years.
He
since
has
I've
aged
left.
5 years since. Yeah, he's got responsibilities here, and we're not yet sure whether he knows what to do with them. What is that?
Oh, so this actually I brought for you because just before we left. So this is a hat I got from
Proper
the
Irish cap.
It's an Irish cap. I
It's
don't know
like
if there's
a Peaky
camera
Blinders
that can see.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Leanna,
That's
would you
awesome.
pass that to Gareth?
And it's branded Guinness.
It's branded Guinness. So
Very nice.
they have Irish shops. Like we have our South African stores everywhere.
That's very cool.
They
Thank you,
have
Ryan.
Irish stores everywhere, and I figured
Excellent.
it's kind of old school, something you'd enjoy.
Thank you.
But
Very nice. And what did you bring for Leanne?
I know, I realized, I was like, oh no.
So Leanne has this app, apparently. She was telling us this morning.
Yes.
She's got an
So
app on
good.
her phone that actually alerts her to lightning.
Yes, because if you're in Joburg, you'll know it stormed last night, much to everyone's
There was
relief.
hail. Yeah. And my dog is not afraid of the lightning, but even she was like, whoa, hang on,
Yeah.
what the hell's going on here?
So I don't. It's a friend of mine
There we
who
go.
who
There we
plays.
go.
Does it
Oh,
work?
that's very cool.
What's that?
Oh, there we go. Now I'm ready to be in Peaky Blinders.
Just need some whiskey in your coffee over there.
Yeah, for
Good.
sure.
How do you know I don't have already? So tell me about this app.
A friend of mine plays hockey, and so she's responsible for. She's the lookout for the lightning.
Oh, because hockey
Oh,
girls
right.
get struck by lightning a lot. Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Anyone can be the Gareth, but
oh,
even
really?
hockey girls.
Really? Even hockey? I thought lightning had a particular predilection for hockey girls.
Like never just one soccer player. It's like the whole team.
Yeah.
But no, so she has something called Lightning Alarm. It's an app. And before the lightning even starts, it makes a lightning noise. Like, but it's loud.
So your
So every
app goes
time
off before the actual
lightning-
lightnings come.
And it's like a lightning noise.
Yes. So I
awesome.
like shit myself twice.
Wow.
But no, you can kind of zoom out. Like right now, I can see.
Wait, maybe you should turn this to the cameras.
Stop producing. Just be a
Sorry,
guest.
right.
I just want to show you
My trauma's
that you
coming
can
back,
see.
you know.
But we're around about here.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Where are we?
Give you a map.
There. Yeah, it gives you a map.
Yeah, it's kind of like a map of the radar.
So you'll know if the lightning's kind of 10 kilometers
So
away.
why would you want this? I mean,
Well,
surely
if you're a hockey girl,
You don't want to be struck by lightning
lightning's
before a game.
after you if you're a
Sure.
hockey girl.
I think this is hilarious and unnecessary.
No, it's quite cool because, for instance, I was waiting for a staff member to come and take over as my mom's caregiver, and she said, I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm in a major storm. And I looked up at the skies and they were perfectly clear and the birds
Yeah.
were chirping. And I thought, she's lying.
Yeah.
And I checked on the app, and in Ekurhuleni, where she was coming from, was a motherfucking storm.
Yeah.
And you could see all the lightning bolts. So it helps for busting people too.
Okay. No, look, there are apps truly for everything. I didn't know there was one that can warn you about the lightning coming.
I knew I was home when I was in the airport and I was flying back to South Africa, and I just got off my flight I was just in Heathrow, and then we were going back to South Africa, and I just heard that EWN dun 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 dun, dun whenever there's headlines, and it's so funny because as I was sitting at the boarding gates, I heard like 5 of those ringtones, and I was like, okay, yeah, I know I'm back now. There's clearly some big headline that's.
There must be 5 people who actually work for EWN because no one else is. No one else is paying attention to them. Leanne is the court clerk because people say it looks like a courtroom. This whole. That's
that's
an
true.
interesting look. Leanne is the court clerk, passing shit to Gareth like he's the judge. This setup is weird.
I'm not the stenographer.
So listen, part of the reason, and I don't mind sharing all the background stuff with you. I needed somewhere to put things because we were sitting on these sofas before, and I didn't like the fact that I couldn't put the laptop anywhere, and it felt like disjointed, So we decided to go with this setup, which works very nicely. They made all the stuff, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, and they did it in record time. That's why we took some time off, so we could get it all right for you. Are you aware that lightning noise is thunder? Yes, Carl,
Sorry,
we know that. Thank you.
We know.
My dog was cuck scared last night. Centurion had a big storm, said Bitcoin Butts. As golfers, we use the Lightning app.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Carlin.
And you have sirens and things that warn other people.
Listen, I live next to a golf course, and then they go woo whenever there's. So I don't need your app.
There you
There are people who
go.
actually switch on a horn that I can hear from my house. I'm like, oh, storm coming. But usually that goes off when it's already there.
No, I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
I feel like if you're living in a state like that, they don't want to wake people up. So do they do it at a time when
Oh,
everyone's
no,
awake?
no, it goes off whenever. No, I mean, people aren't playing golf at 3 a.m, Ryan.
But also, if you're with
It's early in the morning. Like,
insurance people, I mean, insurance companies, I've also gotten, I get warnings from them as well.
Oh, yeah?
But that's like you'll hear the hail starting, and then it says it's hailing if you want to move your car.
Yeah. Meanwhile, your car's already pockmarked like an acne teenager.
Yeah.
No, it's unbelievable. Mig says now Gareth can go pantsless. Well, that was also part of the plan. But, I'd do the show pantsless. So that's what I've always wanted. My biggest problem with this show was always that I had to wear pants.
To wear pants.
I hate that. Also, Judge Cliff gonna be cancelled. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
What is that app called? Says Cully. He wants to download it.
Isn't
Lightning alarm.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Lightning.
So you see, you're a
Alarm.
bundle of useful information. There are now going to be a bunch of people who don't play hockey or golf and don't need the app but want it anyway. They want
Yes.
information. People just want information. All right, so what's changed since you've been back?
Man, there's so much has changed. I drove past our old studios and I saw. Did you see that new center that's built on the left there?
They've built a huge bed where there's a
And they did it
there's
quickly.
Tashes.
There's a
There's a bunch of really nice shops there too.
Super nice.
What it's called, LXX, I think.
But in the
I'm
same complex.
It's, no, it's like literally like across the road.
I
think
just
it's
drove
called-
past there and I didn't see a thing. Oh well.
Well, Leanne, you're very observant when you drive. I've driven past Leanne sometimes, and she's been in her car driving. I'm waving like this, almost like veering out of my lane, and she's like
Highly focused when I'm driving.
hugely focused. Unbelievable. All right, so let's look at a couple of things that are going on in the world that we need to know about. There's been a class action filed, you see, in the courtroom scene that we're in now. This is very important. By a mother who claims her daughter accessed a porn website through a link on the packaging of a Wicked doll. Now, you know, Wicked is all the rage at the
Yeah.
moment. We've got to talk about those outrageous interviews that Ariana Grande and
Drew Barrymore.
no, Cynthia something or
She was on
another.
Drew Barrymore and it was
Whatever.
Yeah.
These two just cry the whole time. We'll get to it in a second. But apparently on the packaging of this Wicked doll, the daughter used the link to get onto some porn site. The company apparently released dolls featuring Cynthia Erivo, that's her name, and Ariana Grande in the film version of the hit musical. The mistake was spotted last month. The dolls were recalled on the 11th of November. Apparently, the lawsuit claims Mattel did not offer a refund despite the recall. So you get a recall, but not a refund. They're looking for $5 million in damage for anyone in the U.S. who bought Wicked dolls with the error in their packaging. They're accused of negligence, selling unfit products, and violating California consumer protection laws. But I want to know...
Well, is it a QR code that you
Must
scan,
be.
perhaps?
But out of
Because that
all
can
the things-
easily go wrong.
But,
Yes.
I mean, of all the things to put there, a porn site? For
No, it can happen. So
Oh.
the company that I work at is a software company and developers.
Design these things.
And we design packaging with QR codes. And
Yeah.
we, at an event, let's say you go to Comic-Con and you visit one of our clients' stands, you'll
Right.
have a QR code before you enter, and that'll have all the information. And that QR code, once it's printed, if hackers get in and change
Oh, so hackers
Oh,
can
yeah.
actually change the
easily, or
destination.
someone playing a prank,
Oh, so it might not be Mattel's fault after all. They could have designed the QR code for something. Then these hackers come in.
yeah.
They
Someone
make
playing a
it
sick
go
joke.
somewhere else.
Oh, let's make this.
okay,
Let's make a
that's
kid's
problem.
doll a porn site.
Okay, right. So those sons of bitches have got to be the ones that they sue. But have you seen these Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande interviews? Because they're all over the internet now.
I've
I
only
don't-
seen.
I didn't even know Wicked was a
Her-
thing, okay?
Yeah.
I had no idea, but I've seen endless clips and then endless parodies of other people dressing up with the long nails
Yes.
and the Ariana Grande. What is going on with Ariana Grande, by the way? Why does she look so terrible?
I don't know.
She used to be this beautiful, petite, lovely, like gorgeous porcelain doll. Now she looks like she's being, I don't
Stressed.
know. There's something
She's
in the middle of
even-
her head that's sucking the rest of her head in. Like
Well, she's lost a lot of weight.
too much. What's going on? This Ozempic.
No, I think they just worked really hard on the set. But yeah, there are
Worked
people
really hard,
people are concerned that she's too
not a
thin. But you
mind
know
worker.
what? That's really not.
wielding a pickaxe.
That's not new in
Worked really
Hollywood.
hard. What pretending? Hang on, they worked really hard pretending for a movie. Huh, please. do me a
So
favor.
no, I don't know why she's lost weight. It's really
Anyway.
none of my business anyway.
These two are pretty scary looking women, and they've been interviewed because Cynthia's got like a bald head, and they play witches in this thing.
Hmm.
Is it a movie, Wicked, or is it a series, or is it a?
I think it's a movie.
It's a movie.
Okay, it's a movie, so that's why there's the fuss, because it used to be a musical.
Hmm.
I know that there was. I only know this because it was on in New York when I was last there in 2019.
Long running,
and,
yeah.
And there were posters up everywhere, and it's like this green witch from The Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah,
Anyway,
I've never seen the show. I don't know what it's about.
no, neither do I. But this Cynthia Erivo is apparently the main star of the movie. She's the green wicked witch, and then Ariana Grande is some other witch. But the two of these, they've been interviewed a million times now, and in every single interview, they end up breaking down in tears, and everything's emotional. Have you seen these things?
I haven't seen
I haven't seen that. I've seen Ariana
Are you guys living
Grande
under a rock? Because I
being-
promise you, it's been everywhere.
I'm telling you though, I've seen her on
Because she
what's her
gets
name?
angry with
I
me.
know.
She's like,
Drew
"Shut up and
Barrymore."
listen to me.
And but Drew Barrymore's interviews are always like that.
Yeah, yeah,
you know how
Drew-
she like hangs off the
Very
sofa
sucky,
and
yeah.
ends up crossing her legs
Yeah,
and
Drew Barrymore.
lying all over the place.
Drew Barrymore needs to be put on medication that makes her a bit more numb.
What, like a lobotomy?
Yeah, like she should have a frontal lobotomy. just a couple of small cuts.
And the
just to
two
make
of
her a
them were
bit
getting all
more-
emotional.
So what are you?
Ugh.
What are you guys doing? You're making a movie here. Good.
Next.
Okay, that's
Who's
nice.
next?
Then she might actually ask some interesting questions instead of like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful, and I just love you." And there's that whole California thing going on too,
Yeah.
which drives me mad.
That's exactly what unfolded. I
these
have to
two-
tell you, you're such a beautiful
But
person.
Cynthia Erivo, she's got nails this long, right? Which, I mean, maybe because she's a witch in the movie, like this is caught on or whatever.
Yeah.
But she and Ariana Grande, they cry the whole time. It is unbelievably boring and self-absorbed. And everyone who interviews them in these press junkets, they're like, "Oh, we love you. We appreciate you. We love you so much." The interviewers are like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
Especially if you're not part of the culture, like I'm not.
Cult.
It's
You
weird.
In that word,
Cult.
it
Yeah,
cult.
it's weird to see, but
Anyway, so that's going on, and now they got this this porn debacle they're dealing with too. Here, Carl DeSantis says, "I used to be very attracted to Ariana. Now she looks like Callista Flockhart had a baby with Hugo Chavez."
So in other words, she has to be a perfect weight. She mustn't be too fat or too thin.
Well, she can be any weight she wants, but she looks odd.
And she would look odd if she was how many kilograms heavier?
Leigh-Ass.
Where's the line?
Okay, guys, just find a before and after. Find a picture of what she looks like now, and objectively,
No, I'm not.
you want to fight with me?
I'm not fighting with you.
I just want you to see a picture.
I'd like to know what's it in kilograms then?
I don't know. She might be this tall, in which case, 40-something. She might be that tall, in which case, 60-something. I don't know. She might be a giant like Ryan.
So it does depend on like her
And she
height.
needs to- what do you weigh, Ryan?
So there is a height
What do I
weight
weigh?
ratio.
Oh,
That's perfect.
I haven't
then.
checked in a while.
Hang on, we're talking about how fat Ryan is.
Yeah, I am like 115 or something.
Don't worry, I've still got to lose at least, according to my BMI thing.
Okay, so it's BMI you're using. I'm just wondering.
What's good? Who?
No, but
You got
it's
sand in your vagina. What's happening with
it's,
you?
it's that thing where you just look at someone and you like they just don't look well. Like I don't know. Like have you ever seen somebody really pale? Like and they just like really just don't look
No, she. It's
healthy.
not just her weight. She
Oh,
looks.
there we go,
She
there we
looks
go.
odd,
That's something.
Leanne. She looks odd. I mean, she's. That's actually a very pretty picture of her.
Yeah.
On both counts, she looks lovely in both those pictures. I'm talking about now during these Wicked interviews. It's just a funny. Maybe she's colored her hair strangely. Maybe she's got funny makeup on. I don't know what it is, but
Maybe it's part of the whole Wicked theme.
Well,
maybe that's part of it.
you could be right. I don't know, but tell me I'm wrong. I mean,
We are talking about it.
If you're talking about like people looking unwell and pale,
yeah,
I was in hospital.
yes,
And yeah,
yeah. You were ill. What
Yeah.
happened?
when was this?
No, recently.
3 weeks ago.
Sure. It's also why we called off the show. I'm going to throw that at you.
I
Well,
had-
Leanne wasn't here, so we decided to just take a
I
break.
had acute bronchitis and
As
something
opposed to an ugly
something
bronchitis.
called pernicious anemia.
Good Lord, what's that, Leanne?
It's a very bad deficiency in vitamin B12.
A pernicious anemia.
Yeah, and it's to the point that he said it would only be a matter of weeks that I would not be able to get out of bed because I would have been paralyzed, irreversibly paralyzed.
Oh my God, that's very serious.
Yeah, I got quite
You
a
don't,
shock.
you don't do half measures when you get sick.
No,
It's always like the full heart.
When I say I need to go to hospital, I mean it.
Yeah, I mean, when Leanne says she needs to take something seriously, you must know. People said the same thing about Chadwick Boseman, and he ended up having cancer. Could be hiding a medical condition.
Oh, there-
well,
there-
okay, there
we
she is
got-
in.
yeah.
Maybe it's because
Yeah,
she's in
there.
the show. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
that's how
maybe.
she has to look. But you see, like the whole, like her eyebrows are gone. She looks very pale. She's terribly thin. I mean, she's.
I think she
she's thin.
looks more like a porcelain doll now. than,
Yeah, probably.
you know.
I don't know. There we go. Marpelo's got the word. She looks dry. She looks dry. This is why I love the comment section. They go straight to the chase. She does look dry. That's it. She looks like she's desiccated. Like
Oh, man.
you know, like if you seal something up in a jar and there's no moisture in it.
It's almost like she looks ashy.
She looks ashy.
Yeah.
That's what she looks like.
Ash.
All right, so
Wait, I just want to find out how do they solve that issue? Do you have to be on like a drip, or do you get like a shot?
So
Yeah, what did
firstly,
they do to you?
what causes it?
Well, you're also very
he's-
dry.
He said to me, "Are you vegan?"
uh-oh.
And I am not, as much as I'd love to be, because I don't like eating animals, but I love the way they taste.
I know. A cow is such a great machine for turning
Yeah, you
grass
see.
into steak.
No, exactly.
Oh.
But I avoid eating animals as much as I can. So if I have a choice, I won't eat animal.
Okay.
And you can't just do that without taking supplements.
No,
No.
we are omnivorous.
You need eggs,
Yeah, yeah.
dairy, red meat.
And that's why so many vegans look like Ariana Grande.
severe
because,
anemia. Yeah.
you need those animal proteins.
In particular, women become anemic
Yeah.
more easily than men do.
Right.
They say about 30% of women are deficient, majorly deficient in some vitamin intake. So it was injections immediately. I felt like a new person. We all know what B12 injections are
And
like.
yeah, you have a lot of energy now.
Well, I only had 2 days of injections, and now I'm on oral supplements, and
Like
we're
pills?
going to test again
Okay.
to see if that's working. But otherwise, it means I will have to have a shot a day for the rest of my life.
So now, how does it work? Like, because I've seen since I've been back, I've just noticed a lot of different stores that I've never seen before, and I've noticed. I think we've spoken about it before, a long time ago, about those bars that you go for like
Yeah, the vitamin.
Oh, like
bars,
vitamin IV bars, they call them. Yeah,
So can you go get like a vitamin B?
absolutely.
like
You can
IV.
you can get a vitamin B IV drip.
Yeah, sorry.
He needs vitamin C, clearly.
Vitamin B injection. I've been to one of those bars. I went.
You can get the blood of young men.
About
Wow.
2 years ago. I don't think you can get those. I
Yeah,
think that would be
yeah.
illegal. You go and you sit down. It's very like a chair like this, and they say, "Are you comfortable? Do you want to take your shoes off or any of that stuff?" You sit there, and they put the thing in your arm. I don't really love needles, but I was like, "Stop being a pussy. Let's do this. It's fun." The cool thing is, literally the cool thing is that it goes into you and it feels cold because it's a whole bag of
Yeah.
saline, and then they put this stuff in it.
And it's obviously like air conditioned.
Goes straight
place
into your
and-
it goes straight into your veins, and then you feel your whole body cool down.
Sure.
It's like internal aircon. It's pretty wild. I mean, if you're going to do it in this weather that we're going through at the moment.
Now, is that covered by like medical aid or is
No,
that
no,
like,
no.
That's
This
just
is
an additional thing.
I mean,
Okay.
not the one I went to. It was
Sure.
just like a booster kind of thing. They just give you a.
Is that healthy
bit
to
of
do? Is
B12.
it like a healthy thing to just
Yeah,
go
yeah,
get
you
like a-
can. It does no damage.
Okay.
It's better than, it's more effective than taking oral vitamins, because when you take vitamins orally, most of it ends up in your urine, which is why you have to have thousands and thousands of milligrams.
Yeah.
But you can have
This is
more of a
direct,
concentrated version directly.
Yeah, your
into
stomach
its
kind of
stream.
screws everything up. It's just a big bag of hydrochloric acid that just dissolves everything.
Sure.
So hard to find those things. So here, Raven says, Mapelo says, no one should be that tall. Apparently, this woman called Raven, who's in the comments section, has a very, very tall husband. Extremely tall, taller than Ryan even.
How tall?
I don't know, but I saw a very, very, very tall guy the other day. He's like, people shouldn't be that big. And I found myself looking at him almost with my mouth open the whole time. Because, you're not used to seeing people. I'm pretty tall. I'm what, like 6'4" or so. So I'm not used to encountering too many people that are that much taller than me. You're
Yeah.
taller than me. But
Am I?
I think you are. This guy was substantially, I wouldn't say a meter, but he was at least that much taller. And I was like, I was a real giant.
Have you seen Trump's son? He's 6'9".
Baron
Yes,
Trump is a
he's
big,
insane.
He's
big
really
guy, yeah.
tall,
Apparently,
over 2 meters.
no, this is the weirdest thing, right? He went on to
I
like,
like my suitcase.
what?
He doesn't know about it.
Oh, the suitcase
There's a-
trend.
Yeah.
So no, there's a video of Baron Trump going around with him and Ivanka or whatever.
he was like
What's his
4.
mother? Melania.
Melania.
Melania, yeah.
Donald's at his desk where you are, and she's sitting on a chair with little Baron Trump,
Yeah.
and he's.
This is a long time.
There's an argument
very
going
long,
on
yeah.
about whether he says, because he used to have an accent.
Yes.
Yes.
He sounded like Melania.
Yeah, where he
Exactly.
said, "I like my suitcase." But some people say he's saying, "I left my suitcase." So she says, "Yeah, you can have your suitcase, but you must first have lunch and then you go to school." And it's just a stupid little conversation.
And now everybody
But
goes,
there's
"I like
it's
my
now a
suitcase."
sound. So
Okay.
anything in a
There's
suitcase
some
or
DJ
with,
got a
to
hold
do
of
with
it and
a
made a song
suitcase.
out of it and it blew up on TikTok.
I'm surprised the
Like my
Kiffness hasn't got
suitcase.
hold of that because
I'm
He's so
They,
great.
they probably
he'll-
would have, yeah.
I'm sure he'll get on.
there's a thing going on now that he's apparently, because he graduated from school, now he's going to college, I think.
Yeah.
And he was trying to like make friends on Discord, which is the gaming
Yeah.
site, and everything this guy does becomes a story in the media, right? So
Only recently, though.
so now he can't
Yeah,
even
all
do
of a
that.
sudden.
Like, there's-
Only in Donald's second term, well,
Yeah.
there's
second
no well. I
coming.
mean, he was a kid, so you try to give kids a bit of room to not be in the public eye when just because their dad or their mom is, right?
Yeah.
I think it's you let them grow up like a normal child. You don't want to ruin the kid. They did that with Obama's daughters. They largely left them alone until they were adults. Now that they're adults, you can be like you would be with any celebrity, and
Yeah.
and the paparazzi follow them
Free
around
game.
and all the rest of it. But I think now Barron's getting all this attention because A, he's so tall, because B, he's graduated from school, and because C, I think people are just fascinated by the family dynamic there. I mean, imagine having Donald Trump for a dad,
Yeah.
for starters. And then the fact that he's 18, I think, and his dad is almost 8E.
Yeah.
It's a
But
big
also,
gap.
have you read about his upbringing?
No, I don't know that much
So,
about him.
like, they were saying when he was in high school,
Yeah?
he never ate at school because they were always worried about
Poisoning.
poisoning.
Really?
So he never ate at school. He would never eat anything that anyone gave him at school. He had bodyguards that would follow him everywhere. And he would literally, as soon as he would finish from school, be transported straight home.
Really?
Yeah. He
So
was
never-
like he was never in the public eye. Like never.
Never able to play sports
And-
after school or
Oh,
any of
yeah.
that stuff.
And I'm sure it was probably organized if he did. But like, you can imagine being Donald Trump's son. Donald's raising him with a vengeance. Like he's
Well-
going to be ruthless.
He's
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I like the fact that, people say things about the Trumps, for example, but they actually seem to be quite a tight family.
Yeah.
I mean, his 3 kids with Ivana, that's Donald Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, are all very close to him. And they all seemingly spend a lot of time around each other. He's got Tiffany as well, who I think is from a different mom. So there are 3 baby mamas. And then there's Melania, who has Barron. But he seems to be close to all his kids, and they all seem to like him, which is more than you could say for, like, Hunter Biden. The crackhead who was sniffing, like, coke out of the carpets in a cheap motel after he'd banged his 3rd hooker of the night. I mean,
Don't
Just
forget his
another-
laptop.
you can say
Just-
that
just
the
a normal
Trumps-
Friday.
Maybe you say the Trumps are spoilt and they're not such great people, and I'm willing to accept that they might not be as good as you think you are, but they seem to be a pretty tight family, and I would rather be one of them than I would Hunter Biden. Any day of the week and twice on Sundays.
And I also think Barron had a lot of influence in the new strategy for
Yeah,
this
he
recent election.
Apparently, he helped his dad get on TikTok and all that kind of thing because
Yeah,
he didn't know anything about it.
Setting up like interviews with
Imagine.
streamers.
So
and all
tell
that.
me about this TikTok. Is it great? Is it tremendous? Am I going to be hugely popular?
I mean, that's how I got on Joe Rogan, I think, as far as I know.
I
But
don't
wasn't
know.
he trying to ban TikTok?
No, it's still going to be banned.
That's
It's going to be
not here.
banned. So
It's
why
gonna
is
be
he
banned in
getting on
January.
it?
No. So the American Congress is trying to ban it because they think that it's probably a dangerous
Well,
thing.
it's
and I
from
agree.
China.
China. But, we know that the Chinese apps like TikTok, they're used very differently in China to the way that they're used in the U.S.
Yeah.
In the U.S., they make the kids watch, or they allow the kids to watch all these stupid trending videos of like nonsense, like eating Tide Pods or whatever. But in China, they only allow them to watch educational stuff on there. They just block everything that isn't educational.
Yeah, well, they just kind of blow it up. They kind of like make it popular to make educational videos.
Yeah.
So the algorithm will blow up your video if you make an educational video, versus in America they'll make it blow up if it's a dance
Yeah,
video.
it's
kind
an
of thing.
algorithm. The
So then
algorithms
more
are different.
People do dance videos in America.
So
than-
we got onto this by talking about how tall Raven's husband is. She goes, "Thanks, Mapelo. Gareth's just making up a story about my freakishly tall husband. He's only 1.9 meters tall. That's quite tall, though.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, I'm 187, so okay, it's that much more than me. He's freakishly tall. I think everything that's taller than me is freakishly tall, and I think that everyone who's fatter than me is freakishly fat, and I think that everyone, I just do. I think I am the medium, and everyone else is the large or the small. Meanwhile, I'm probably a large.
You're just the thing that everybody's to scale to.
I know. They should use me when they build everything, like door heights, windows,
Clothes sizing,
staircases,
yeah.
everything. They should use me as the.
But they did for a long time. For instance, the sofas we had here before were designed by a man. And you
Yeah.
had to sit on the edge because
That
otherwise
was
you'd be
also-
lying down.
So there were so many things that we tried with the previous set, and I wasn't happy. You sat in those things, the previous ones. You would sit like back there in the 1800s.
You needed
and your
40
feet would
scatter
be in
cushions.
2024. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Barron is a future president in the making, says Bitcoin But. Hey, listen, Bitcoin But. He sent me an email. If you have Bitcoin, you had a really great couple of weeks, huh?
Oh yeah.
You're just loving it at the moment.
For
I
sure.
know there are ups and downs, but by and large, like I forgot I'd bought a little bit,
Oh, did you?
well, a while ago, but I'd forgotten about it because I kind of fell off the
Yeah, it
crypto train. I got so downhearted about how it was going up and down, and By the way, I saw lots of economists over the weekend talking about how you should and shouldn't invest in it now. And I'm no expert in this. I've never been. I've never purported to be. I tried to learn about it while it was happening, just like everybody else. And we've got Joe Cimino coming in a bit later on, which I'm very excited about. I love Joe.
Oh,
and
I'm hiding
he's
my
got
credit
some
cards
thoughts on
away.
it. Yeah, you better hide your credit cards, everybody.
I do not have a purse full of credit cards.
Because Joe's going to cut them up. But he's coming to join us later. And, you know, he spent a whole lot of time in Hawaii and has also decided to come back to South Africa, which we'll talk to him about in a short while. But this crypto thing, I know somebody who's actually become like a millionaire in dollars. Someone I
Sure.
know who was not a millionaire just a little while ago. He put a lot of money into crypto. I don't know how much he's cashed out now because he's still a true believer. You'd have to have been to have held on as long as these guys have. But he didn't like announce it publicly. But he said to me, I'm actually
That's amazing.
I'm doing really well.
If you had have gone, you know, the Hawk Tour girl, Tour girl,
she's under investigation,
she's
right?
possibly facing cryptocurrency charges.
She launched her own.
She
token.
launched a Hawk.
I mean,
you know,
really,
like Hawk.
the Hawk Tour girl. You know that her podcast.
Her
is
meme
talk-
coin is Hawk.
Her podcast is called Talk Tour.
But
It got hugely successful. It was like
Yeah.
top 5
Well,
podcasts.
listen to this because she's now going to probably go to jail.
so she's not facing charges yet, but is likely to.
Yeah.
And if she does face the charges, you can only, because cryptocurrency is still new and, you know, lawmakers still haven't made all the laws around
Yeah.
it. So it's difficult to say. It's not like, oh, it's murder, so it's this many years.
Hmm.
They're figuring out. But it's a similar case got someone 12 years in jail.
Yeah.
But within 20 minutes of Hawk's launch, the cryptocurrency tanked from 490 million to just 41 million. So apparently all of her fans have lost millions
but-
and their life savings.
But she made like $50 million out of
So
it.
there's an insider trading thing going
Right,
on.
and they say that she
accusations.
might have sold all of them before everybody else did.
That's it.
See if that people have got to. If you're going to put your life savings into something
Hawk
that
Tour
the
girl.
Hawk Tour girl
Yeah.
says you should, I think you kind of deserve to lose your money.
I was going to say the same
Not just
thing.
now, but forever. You kind of deserve to be bankrupt for all time if you trust the Hawk Tour girl
Why are you
as
putting
your
your entire
financial
life
advisor.
savings into her hands? You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, yeah.
See, Ryan, this is why you won't be swindled. By
And
the Hawk
she's
Tour.
denying that anyone bought anything.
Yeah.
She's going, no, that no one bought anything. But the data shows that more than 80 wallet addresses were given tokens prior to the launch. All 80 of these accounts apparently sold their shares in the last minute between 10,000 and 365,000 at that profit.
Well,
So,
Mapela says
we'll see.
after Joe left and went to Hawaii, I made terrible financial decisions. So he's pleased that Joe will be joining us a little later on. So am I. It's going to be great. The Hawk Tour girl is too dumb to mastermind that theft, and anyone dumb enough to invest in that deserves to lose their money, says Slippery Pig.
No, I don't think she
Correct.
masterminded it.
Actually,
She's
yeah.
not a mastermind of anything.
I
guys.
actually feel sorry for her.
Someone got hold of her and said, hey, don't you want to do this because it's a really cool way to make some money quickly? And she was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's do it.
I actually think whoever was guiding her, because I mean, she just became famous overnight, which was, I mean, the fact it just kept going, like her momentum was insane. Then she got a podcast that just
Yeah.
did really well, and I just think the
Yeah.
person who was leading her, like the agent or whatever, whoever led her to this point, did a really horrible job. Like, I feel like at some point you have to just call it because
Well, I mean,
like
Congo-
a meme coin. Like, come
Congo
on.
Chris makes a very good point. Those simps who went and spent money on her token could have and would have spent that money on OnlyFans anyway. They had
Oh my
it
God.
coming. Good for her.
Have you
So I
seen the
kind of agree with that.
OnlyFans stuff that's going around?
No, what's happening with OnlyFans?
There's this girl named Sophie Rain that I
Yeah?
saw on Twitter. She's like going viral because she posted her earnings for the last year. Now, she just looks very young, and I think that's why she does really well. But she made $42 million in the last year. And she claims, so I think she's 18 or, yeah, so she's like just 18, and she claims she's a virgin. And she's doing OnlyFans, and she made $42 million.
But what's she doing on there? Showing her feet?
I have no idea what she's doing on there, but there was one specific top earner that she highlighted on her Twitter page, and his name is Charlie. And he's donated, from the beginning of when she started, close to $5 million. And he gives her, like, it's $200 to send her a message, and he messages her every day. And on top of that, he, like, gives her a daily allowance of, like, $5,000. And it's all been checked, and, like, she posted how much she makes. So you can only send $200 at a time on OnlyFans, apparently. And so he overheard her like, praising him on Twitter, and it's like, oh, you know, I'm so pleased that you're
So
happy.
he's also on there?
So he's just a watcher, like a viewer.
And he's using his money just to fund her, basically.
To fund her. She, like,
What does he do to have this money?
no one knows who he is. His name is just Charlie.
Oh, okay. So he's just he's
just some guy.
horrible, creepy old man.
But just to her, $5 million. Just to her. And he gives her like a daily allowance of like $5,000.
Good for her. I hope she never has to meet this guy.
Stephen A. Smith was doing a comparison, because, you know, he has a sports show.
Yeah.
And he was saying that she's made more money than most of the guys in the NBA in that year, which is insane. That's insane.
That's it. Look at that. 43,477,000. Is that her?
That's her there.
Okay, she's pretty. How old? 18.
Yeah, I think she's like 18.
Yeah.
It's quite an insane
still,
story.
I mean, all right, good for her. She's got like $50 million there.
Stephen A. Smith even went further to point out, which I thought was a fun fact, was OnlyFans has paid out since the start of it $6.6 billion US, and I think the NBA salary cap is at $4.7 billion, something along those lines, which is insane.
Yeah, but she still had to go to Thanksgiving and tell her family how she makes her money.
Yeah, well,
And that
$42
conversation is never going to be a fun one, right? Yeah. It's just amazing to me how much perverts will part with in order to, like, see whatever they want to see online. Huh? Like, perverts just have endless resources for being perverts. They just... I need more money to spend on...
Being a pervert.
Is it a tax write-off?
I love being a pervert so much. Someone's going to cut that up, and it's going to be...
Oh, man.
See that now. OnlyFans is legal prostitution, says Vyasan, without sleeping with the client. Agreed. It really is. It is. It's obviously safer for the person concerned, but it's still prostitution, right? How's Ryan so clued up with all these OnlyFans stats? Says,
I kind of saw that coming as soon as I started talking about it.
You know, is that where all your US dollars went? Raven says young boys don't have money, so it's only old bullies that pay to watch her. Well, that's the scary thing, right? Is you don't know, she doesn't know who this guy is.
No.
He could live in the building next to her, and he could be sitting there with binoculars and properly be dangerous at some point and like try to approach her. She doesn't know. He goes with a profile name and a fake internet.
Yeah, you can't
personality
possibly sleep easy knowing that someone's giving
No,
you
you
that
could
amount
be-
of money and you don't know who they are.
I would not like that. Tell you what, anytime I get any money into my bank account, I know where it comes from.
Yeah.
I know I've earned that. It's been, some blood, sweat, and tears somewhere along the way. If something just arrived in my account and it was like from Sugar Daddy 25-3, I'm going to be like, don't know if I want this.
So somebody offered me a piece of furniture and I said, well,
Oh, what kind of furniture do you have?
no, they... So someone offered to buy one of my pieces of furniture, I should say rather. So
Oh, which piece of furniture? Lee?
I had loaned it to a friend anyway, and they said, can we keep it, but we want to buy it from you. I said, there's no ways you're buying it from me. And eventually they got hold of my mum's banking details.
Guys, aren't
through
we meant to go to
family.
Dr. Hanan?
Oh.
Oh, he's not on today.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, just checking. All right.
Anyways,
I don't want to get into trouble with Dr. Hanan again.
So this person put the money into my mum's account because they said,
Oh.
if you're not going to accept it, I know your mum's bank account.
Oh,
so I'm putting
it's a family friend.
Yeah,
Okay.
$1,000 into my mum's account. I forget to tell my mum. Anyway, I pitch up a day or two later, and she says, you know that somebody put 1,000 rand into my account by mistake. And I'm thinking, what? And then I remembered it was this person.
Yeah.
She said, I went straight to Woolworths and bought chocolate and wine. Literally in her wheelchair with her caregiver down the road. She bought chocolate and wine with 1,000 before anyone could
Your mom
say
is like
anything.
that girl who went to jail. Do you remember that girl at, I think it was Nelson Mandela University or
Oh,
whatever?
yes. So someone erroneously.
They paid...
But that was like $1 million or something.
Yeah. It was with all those the what do they call them? It's not SASA grants. It's the education bursaries.
Oh yeah.
The higher education department give. And she went and like spent I don't know R1 million on just crap because she couldn't believe that someone had put all this money into her account and she's had to pay it all back.
Yes.
But I got a payment the other day and I was like, where the hell does this come from? And I would not rest until I'd found out where it had come from.
So you didn't buy wine and chocolates?
Oh, no. I'm very careful with that. And also remember, easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
If you're going to get excited about money that isn't yours.
You didn't buy the
No,
new
I didn't
Woolworths
buy
ice?
anything. I didn't buy
The
anything.
new Woolworths.
So that's a big thing going on at the moment. And we did miss quite a lot while we were off the air. So I think it's worth talking about. The Woolworths ice thing has become such a big story in South Africa. Of course, everybody always makes jokes about how Woolworths is the private school of the shops.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's so true anymore. Some of the others are really picking up their game to the
Hold on,
point where
hold
they
on,
might
hold on.
even be doing better.
And Woolworths
Staying
is
in
cheaper.
Ireland, I
Okay.
just want to say, Woolworths is unmatched.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
In fact, there's an
I have a
Irish
new
woman.
respect.
I don't know if you're following this woman who she keeps coming up on my feed on Instagram.
I
for
know
some
exactly
reason.
what you're talking about.
And I don't follow her, but she's great. She's from
Yes.
Ireland,
Yeah,
right?
she is.
And she's like,
She's an
I
Irish
don't
comedian.
care about anything else that's going on in this country. The thing I like the most is Woolworths, right? She loves it.
Yeah, she's like, it should be a tourist destination. I agree. It is actually like when you go to the shops in Ireland, like don't get me wrong, you get your higher end shops like Super Value or like a Dunn's, which is kind of like the Woolworths of. I
Super
think it's-
value sounds a bit cheap, though.
Yeah,
That's
it
what I
doesn't
thought as
sound.
well. And then I went there, and it's actually it's more expensive than Tesco.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you go to like a Dunn's, I think it's owned by Mark and Mark and Spencer. Yeah.
Okay.
And but when I come here and I go to a Woolworths, it is
You feel like you're in
oh my
first
God,
class, huh?
it's unmatched. Like I have a new respect. Like when you leave this country and you realize what you're leaving behind, Woolworths is definitely something that I didn't think I was gonna miss, but I came back here.
There it is. Show the ice. So this is this is Woolworths ice. Of course, not sufficient to just have filtered water, which is what they should use when they make your ice. Because if you buy ice from the garage, and it doesn't say on the packet that it's been filtered and cleaned, it might as well be just tap water. And we know that sometimes that's not so good, right? We know that, for example, I have a water filter at home.
Or a Walter for short.
Water filter.
Walter, yeah.
I have a water filter at home, and it's connected to one tap only. The rest of the taps are all just straight off, the municipal line. This one goes through a thing, and every 6 to 10 months, I have them replaced. And you must see what these filters look like after a year of being in there. It's not so great. And you think about, well, I drink a lot of water. So I want it to be clean. But this is next level. So this is Drakensberg Natural Spring Ice. That's what they call it. And you were telling me, Ryan, because we also joke about how cold Woolworths is, because you go in there, it's like,
Freezing.
it's freezing. This December, this is what we mean when we ask you, please buy ice on your way here. Natural spring water ice from the Drakensberg.
Yeah.
And Mapelo says here, no, sorry, Lucky. Matopeng says, the Woolworths ice was unnecessary. Now black people will say, I only use Woolworths ice. It's gonna be like the Johnny Blue of ice, right? And have people
But you
going to
know-
clubs going, I'm ordering a bottle of your mum champagne, but I insist on Woolworths ice. And I'm not, just in case it's not cool enough, I want to put some ice in there.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a talking point, and South Africans have a great sense of humor about it.
Oh, they do.
But if you think about it, if you're drinking filtered water at home and then putting tap water ice into your water, obviously it doesn't make sense. For instance, I use filtered water in my ice cube tray. It's not from the Drakensberg. But if you are going to drink water from the Drakensberg, which is just Willie's plain old water that you can get in a 5 liter, you might as well put the same water in ice form. So it's not that bougie, but South Africans will make a thing of it.
It's bougie now.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's literally like how you were saying. It's not about the actual ice itself, aside from it being like that fancy thing, but it's like the fact that you can put it in your shopping cart in Woolworths and it won't melt till you leave the store.
It's so cold.
But on like another note, while I was in Ireland, I was on TikTok, and like the cops here have been busting spaza shops like crazy
Hugely.
lately. It's been like a massive thing.
Down, yeah.
There was one of these shops. It was like a fancier one, I guess. And you know how they have those water tanks in the middle of the shop that you can go like it's like filtered clean water.
Yeah.
There was a video I saw of one of these shops, and the cops had found the line of water where it was filling up, going into the back room of a toilet. And that's where the water was coming from.
Oh, no.
And ever since I've seen that, whenever I walk into a shop and I see these like big water tanks, all I can think of is how that one shop wired the water
Yeah, but
through
it might...
the roof
Okay, so
from the
you're
toilet.
not saying
like,
from where the toilet gets flushed out. You're saying...
from the bottom inside.
Oh, my
That's
God.
where the water was being pumped. No, it wasn't like just casual water going into it. It was literally from inside the bowl
No, please,
going
I can't.
up.
Oh, that's
And so ever
horrific.
since I've come back here and I see those big like tanks
Listen,
of water in the
just-
stores, I can't look at it the
There,
same.
now you know, one thing that we always used to think is water is just water. Clearly not. There are grades of water.
Good water in South Africa.
Let me tell you. Well, we had the water sommelier here the other day.
Yes.
Remember?
She did a video on the Woolworths ice from the
I'm sure she
Drakensberg.
did. This is her area of speciality. I'm going to go home and watch that after this. We'll get to so many other things. We've got plenty to talk about. We've got Joe popping in, who we haven't seen for a long time. Joe Cimino, who's obviously, he's been in Hawaii, which is very, very fancy and beautiful and hot all year round.
Yeah.
And he just decided it's too nice. He can't handle it. He's going to come back to South Africa. He needs a challenge every morning.
Needs a bit more grungy.
Yeah, he needs like some grime and dirt and like some difficulty.
Less,
You know,
less paradise.
they
Too much
say-
paradise.
They say that you only get better when there is something for you to struggle against.
Yeah.
Clearly, Joe decided that was what he needed. But he'll dispense some much needed financial advice, I'm sure. At the same time, we'll talk a little bit about that. And if you've got plans for December, he's going to destroy them because he'll tell you that you shouldn't spend any money.
Quickly
doing
buy your
anything.
Christmas presents now before we come back.
Buy all your Christmas presents before Joe gets on the show. That's coming up just now. We'll also talk about the 12 most dangerous cities in the world. How many do you think we have?
Well, we'll see.
Find out all of that and more. Don't go anywhere. This is the Gareth Cliff Show on the Real Network. It is Monday morning. We're live, the 9th of December.
Are you leading towards Kendrick being a cloud chasing rapper?
Kendrick is leaning into cloud chasing for where it can benefit him.
No.
I'm not saying he's a cloud chasing rapper. It would be unfair to call him a cloud chasing rapper. But cloud chasing is a new feature that Kendrick has recently unlocked in that he's playing to the crowd where the crowd is expecting him to say something about someone. Look how many new fans Kendrick got because of Not Like Us. These are people who hadn't listened to Kendrick before. They're not fans of Kendrick. They're not diehard fans. But now, because of Not Like Us, they're like, yo, he finished Drake. Yo, whatever. Are you saying that now he's not what he's doing?
No, I don't see that. First of all, he randomly dropped an album.
Then you can, I think it's false.
I think you are balls. I think you are balls.
The most common thing that either people accidentally poison themselves with or intentionally poison themselves with to unalive themselves is rat poison.
And it's called two-step also.
Two
Yes,
step.
yes.
Because you
Just
take
take
two
two
steps
out.
out.
Yeah.
It's just foreign-owned spaza shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're saying that, I mean, I've heard speculations of it's actually organized poisoning of communities.
Yo.
Or
I
like,
mean, that's a far-fetched thing to think
No,
of.
but
I know
listen,
plenty Pakistanis.
I mean, it's loaded.
Murdering your customers is not good for business.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
have to go to school now?
Yeah, you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now I'm gonna go.
Yeah, first you will have lunch and then you go to school.
Now you can do reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Uh-huh. All right, there's Baron Trump. That was the, I want my
I
suitcase.
like my suitcase.
So it was like Borat. All right, we are very, very pleased to have Joe Cimino back in the studio. And Joe is, he's looking tanned, he's looking good. He's fresh off the Hawaiian beaches. But you've decided to come back to South Africa. You and Ryan for a visit, you permanently.
Yes. Yes,
Nice to see you, man.
It's like that Toto song, you know, the rains in Africa, man. I'm back. I enjoyed a little bit of America,
Yeah?
but just a little bit. A little bit.
Hawaii isn't really America. I mean,
No, agreed.
you know, it is and it isn't. It is also probably the furthest place from here.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's
how
12 hours. It's the other side of the earth.
But if you fly there, how long does it take you?
Well, I don't know. When I flew back here, I had to go from Hawaii to Seattle, Seattle to Detroit, Detroit to Chicago,
God.
Chicago to Heathrow, Heathrow here.
What?
That just sounds
It's like
hard.
4 days of solid travel.
Wow.
And they claim, you know, I did first class, you know, out of America, and what Guckman. There's no first class. It's a big seat. There's no television monitor. There's no pillow. There's no covers. There's nothing.
They made you pay
Yeah.
for nothing, for
Yeah.
nothing extra,
Did
and you
you
hate
fly in
that.
first class on every single flight?
No, I did business class from out of Chicago to on British Airways.
You don't like being ripped off, and you stand up for other people who get ripped
Agreed.
off all the time. But I am pleased because, first of all, we need your... Listen, we spoke to you when you were in Hawaii. I remember we did a couple of crossings to you, and it looked like you were having a good time. And obviously, people must go wherever they want to go in the world, and you wanted to try it out. America is a fascinating country. I think that what's going on there now is probably going to be amazing to watch, either from inside or out.
Agreed.
But there is something about this place, and I love the way that you used the word cuck. I mean,
Yeah,
like, South
exactly.
Africa is just great. There is so much
It's
going on here.
kaklekker.
It's kaklekker. But it is, right? And I mean, I think there are a lot of people who want to come back, but they don't have the balls to do it. And I just want to say, if anybody listening to this show or watching us from anywhere in the world, if you decided to leave and you may be having second thoughts and you want to come back here, you've got friends here, family here, or whatever else, don't worry about what they say.
Yeah.
Do what makes you happy. And nobody has to explain why they moved somewhere or moved back. Just like you don't have to explain why you leave South Africa. It's totally up to you. It's your business. And everybody else must just shut up and mind their own.
Bingo.
Right?
Live your own life.
Live your own life. So have you been scouring the ATMs like you used to before?
I've only been back a couple weeks, so no, not yet. Not
I love
yet.
it. So Joe is famous because what he used to do, I love this. And he just mentioned it casually once on the show. And it's research. So, I mean, in some ways, it's probably better research than most people do who are financial advisors. 'cause
Hands on.
They look at, you know, the macroeconomic statistics, but they don't deal with real people. What you used to do is Joe would go to the ATM machines around town, and if he was withdrawing money, he'd just take all the slips that everybody had put in the rubbish next to the machine, and then he'd take them home and he'd put them all out on his desk, and he'd look at how much people had in their account.
Yeah, or how much
Because-
they didn't have in their
A
how
account.
much
week
they-
after payday.
Right. A
Ooh.
week after payday.
Oh, my
And he
goodness.
would find the most amazing stuff about just how unhealthy most people's spending and behavioral habits are around their money.
Yep, I'll tell you what. That's what I saw in America. In America, they hit over $1 trillion now in credit card debt. Everybody's getting credit cards. I know a girl who, what they're doing when they offer you a credit card, they give you 0% interest for a year.
Yeah.
So she keeps getting new credit cards and then rolling her old balances onto the 0%. But at the same time, she keeps using them, and keeps growing what she owes, you know? And it's just, I mean, I got caught up with that back in the 90s. They did that to me. They pulled a little shitty on me.
Yeah.
NBNA Visa. I won't mention who it was. And they said, oh, you're platinum material. We'll give you 0% for a year. Well, after that year, they counted it as a cash advance, and the interest was daily, not monthly.
Oh wow.
That is
Yeah.
outrageous.
Yeah, because it's not a
Are
purchase.
they allowed to do that?
Oh, well, I think that's Joe Biden's hometown, isn't it? Delaware, isn't that where all the credit card companies are
That's
at?
right.
So
Yeah.
In fact, they all operate on Delaware law,
Yep.
which is also the place you started Delaware Corporation when you want to open an American company from outside of America.
I didn't
So
know
there's
that.
plenty of stuff going on there that's not so
Yeah,
kosher.
I know.
Yeah.
And
All
so
right,
that hurt me. Oof.
So Joe, you've said, and I don't want you to sit here and just talk about finance with us this morning, but everybody's aching to know all these things. I mean, I can see here a couple of questions already popping in.
This time of year, oof,
Yeah, I mean,
there's still Christmas to go. It's
Oh my
it's
God.
it's going to be a long month.
and
this
New
is
Year's,
this is probably where you become very unpopular, but people still like to hear it.
I'm used to it.
People waste money on stuff at this time of year. I mean, one of your questions for us, Ryan, is like, what is everybody doing for the holidays?
Yeah.
And I have to be frank with you, and I've said it before on the show, I don't have any plans yet, and I don't know if I'm going to go anywhere or do anything that I absolutely don't have to do. There's one of my friends who will be getting married in Cape Town in December, and that's literally, I'll go down for a day.
But you've also done
And
some traveling this year.
I have a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But I'm not looking to be spending outrageously at the moment, and that goes for everything, including toning down the Christmas presents, because I'm a giver with Christmas presents.
Yeah.
I love buying people Christmas presents, and it's so easy to do now. You can do it from your bed at night on your phone. The temptation is strong.
But I mean, you also look at family sizes. So, for instance, if you look at just your mum, your dad, your siblings, and your brother's children,
Yeah.
that's quite a substantial family unit. For instance, for me, it's my mum and my brother. That's all.
So you're just thinking you can spend more now.
I just have to buy 2 gifts.
Yeah, and you can think very carefully about those and be quite you're thoughtful about how you
Mindful.
mindful of how much you spend.
Not too demure, but
Yeah.
very mindful.
Not too many people are mindful, though.
Yeah.
Not
No.
too many people are mindful. I'm one of those guys. I give gifts that you can actually use, and a lot of thought went into it.
Exactly,
Whereas I get the cheap bottle of wine, unaerated. I want to go on the show right now and tell everybody that. I learned something from Paul 802. He's in England right now. He moved back there. He was on Vel de Vie wine estate
yeah?
with
Yes.
Riek Nietling or whatever.
Yeah,
Riek Nietling.
They're swimming guys. They got a beautiful polo course there. But anyway,
Magic.
he showed me about proper aerating on red wine, not letting it sit in some carafe and calling
What are you
that
meant
aerating.
to do, Joe?
Well, I bought these things in America, and you put it on top of the bottle, and as you pour it, you hear this. It infuses oxygen into the wine. And I've done taste tests with people straight out of the bottle and aerated, and you got 2 different wines there. So I love watching people, and I just bought myself a case of Sarensburg.
That's very
I
good.
mean, they got 7 gold medals on there, and
Yeah.
I'm not, somebody that plays that game, but if the wine industry is giving you 7 gold, I'm going to go with it.
I think they know this.
And so
They've got to pay to enter to get those seals as well.
Oh, well, quality costs money.
Yeah.
When you wake up tomorrow and hear, realize you could have had quality yesterday because you're gone today. Cancel Christmas. So I do straight out of the bottle and then aerate it, and everybody will go, holy. So I love watching people in restaurants. They pour it out of the bottle straight in the glass. Guy goes like this, smells it, no idea what he's drinking.
So is
No
it a
idea.
machine that you attach and then it
No,
puts
it's
the
just this
oxygen
little
in?
plastic thing that goes on top, and it infuses oxygen into the wine. It absolutely changes the wine.
Joe, you've changed.
tremendously.
You've become such a wine snob.
I'm a whiner.
Yeah,
I'm a whiner. Leave me alone. Get off my grass.
When you talk about like practical gifts that people can use, what sort of things do you mean?
Well, like that.
I hate to
Like
say
a wine
this.
infuser.
No, I bought Grandma a clothes dryer.
That's what a lovely present.
Listen, if you need a clothes
Vetsky
dryer,
Love, a bottle of Chanel Allure.
Oh, that's very good.
That's a beautiful. Ladies, go out and get it. I mean, I remember my old girlfriend Jenny, the model, back in the day when Ishimaki came out
Yes.
and took the world by storm. Chanel Allure's doing it right now. It's
Oh.
absolutely one of the
So
most
you're
beautiful
now, I
fragrances.
like this. So far, we've got good advice on red wine,
Yes,
good advice
fragrance.
on perfume, which is excellent, and some gift ideas at the same time. Wine infuser, Ryan.
Yeah.
That's what you got to buy the family.
In Ireland, they even have that thing for the Guinness. It's like a nitro pourer or something. So the cans you get the nitro cans, and then you put this thing on top, and it pours it like a draft.
Wow.
Oh.
It kind of, I don't know what it does, but it's like an attachment you can buy it's for Guinness specifically.
Yeah.
And then it pours like a draft with this.
Do you know what that gas is they use?
No.
Farts.
Nitrous oxide. So nitrous is the short.
Yeah.
Nitrous oxide is laughing gas. It's the stuff the dentists use when they put you under.
Okay, but so only if you inhale that, then.
Yeah. But
you
I mean,
drink-
it's not enough to
Okay.
make you woozy. Don't worry, Leanne.
No, 'cause I was-
I'm going to go
I
buy
was-
10 of those.
Not like whippets from back in the day. Anybody ever heard
Yeah,
of
you remember
whippets?
those? Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I
the
do.
whipped cream, right?
Well, these were just the little pods there you put in a balloon.
And that was nitrous oxide.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Didn't know about that.
Also, I'm seeing the real Italian.
Yeah,
coming
Joe.
out.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are commenting on how you look like you just stepped off the plane from Hawaii, but you
Yeah.
pretty much did.
Yeah. Oh, I've been here. Well, I stayed a week in my friend and Alan in Wolverhampton, England.
Okay.
I had to get the fish and chips. I could not believe the size of the chips. It was this big, the size of the chips. You could eat it for 3 days. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it.
No, it's because over there they call these chip shops chippers.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, where'd you get the chip? And they're talking about like a box of chips. Like there's so many different fish and chip or like chip
They take
shops.
their chips
So
very
chipper.
seriously. Well,
Yeah.
you must remember that the only contribution the English have ever made to cuisine is the humble potato chips.
Meat and.
I don't know.
meat
I
and
remember they tried to
potatoes.
take over the world a couple times, wasn't it? Back in the day.
Yeah, but in terms of food, that's all they got.
Okay.
You know, bangers and mash and that kind of thing.
And
Very
mushy
plain,
peas.
Cottage
horrible mushy
pie.
peas.
Oh, I
Cottage
love.
pie.
I love that type of food.
Do you?
It's good old
Bangers
stuff.
and mash.
So what did you miss while you were away? Because I asked Ryan this question.
Can I ask how long were you away in?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I
What'd you
moved.
miss?
I lived about a year with my very good friend up in Conover, Wisconsin, way in the north woods of Wisconsin, and Diabetesville, I call it, because with the high fructose corn syrup and everything, you'd be surprised. Not only are they overweight, but they sell this little round thing that goes on your arm, and it sends notes to your phone. Your blood sugar's low, so people are like, "What?" You keep hearing these things go off, and they're commanded by, "Oh, I got to eat some. Oh, I got to inject." Oh,
like
that's the way they live. And
Joe,
everybody had them up there. I couldn't
that is
believe it.
terrible. I mean,
It's absolutely terrible. When you watch the adverts on TV, you'll watch 5 minutes of adverts, and there'll be at least 3 drugs on there. Ask your doctor about Ozempic. May cause anal leakage, may cause heart palpitations, may cause and they got to say that. They got to say it, and then at the
And they're
end
not
there's a
even
girl
real
going,
doctors.
"I have it. Yes, I got." And ask your doctor. No, you don't ask your doctor if you should take drugs from an advert. But they're all. I mean, my sister.
there are only 2 countries in the world that can sell
I thought there was 3.
drugs. Only 2,
Oh, 2?
as far as I know. New Zealand and the United States that can sell drugs directly to the consumer by commercials.
Oh.
We're not allowed to advertise pharmaceutical products in most other countries in the world.
But we do advertise things like cough syrup. I think it's a
Oh,
certain.
no. Yeah, it's scheduled.
Yeah,
you
scheduled,
can't-
yeah.
Like, that's why they also, you know this, Joe, in every American ad for whatever drug it is, the terms and conditions are
Contraindications.
They're 3/4 of the
ad.
So, and it's this very
You
fast
can't just
voice
say
that goes,
T's and C's
blah, blah, blah,
apply.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
may
I
cause
know.
you to die and may
Yeah,
cause
yeah.
your head
Yeah.
to fall out.
Your
and
heart will
may-
only stop shortly. Don't worry.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
restarts.
Right. So the diabetes is so bad there that people wear these little patches.
Yeah.
Sure.
And their phones go off the whole time. And
No.
and this is a chronic lifestyle condition that's brought about by a bad diet.
That's
Primarily.
why I like Bobby Kennedy.
Yeah.
He's going to go after all of them.
I like him too.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be terrific.
Yeah.
And the American food industry is actually appalling. I mean, didn't they just the other day? There was this big story about how the Fruit Loops
Yeah. Canada and
in
America.
the U.S. and the Fruit Loops in Canada are totally different. And of course, some people said, "Oh no, they're not that different, except that the American one contains these dyes and these colorants and these
yeah.
additives." And it turns out that the Canadian one's way healthier.
Yeah, they use fruit juice for the dyes.
Right.
Yeah.
So
But there's so much misinformation out there. Now there's this whole thing with MSG, right?
yeah, monosodium glutamate.
Which we all grew up knowing is bad for you. Not even growing up. We grew up consuming the shit out of it.
Oh hell yeah.
And then later on, we
We
heard, no,
basically had
it's bad
orange
for you.
stains around our mouths.
In the meantime, it's actually not harmful at all. It's,
Really?
No, it's a great additive to use in very specific types of cooking. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just because it came from the Far East.
Well, Joe will know this. How many years ago did they tell us that fat was bad?
Yeah.
And then but the one thing they never told us was bad was sugar, and they put sugar in everything.
Yeah, they told us not to eat too many eggs.
And when I see them shopping, like when you see the morbidly obese people on the three-wheeler in the store, they got a 12-pack of Diet Dr. Pepper, a 12-pack of Diet. It's all diet, and they prove diet stuff don't work anyway.
There's the Fruit Loops. There's the difference right there.
They just a couple days ago, they said they were doing away with red dye number 5, which is supposed to come from like a bug or something.
Red
like
40, yellow 5, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, BHT for freshness. Those are the things that they add into the American ones that they don't put in the Canadian ones.
A lot of countries won't even sell Mountain Dew. That's another one.
Mountain Dew is it's a soft drink, right?
Yes.
We used to have it here.
Yeah.
still have it here.
I think that Americans are probably some of the least healthy people in the world. If RFK can get that right, just kids. If he just helps the kids, because for some of them it's too late.
Yeah, all the processed meat and everything.
Oh, man.
I did a little with my son when he went to school. I used to make him these big sub sandwiches.
Yeah.
I was a peanut butter and jelly guy, 3 peanut butter and jellies. That's what I used to have a couple times a week growing up, in school with the warm milk in the cupboard because we couldn't afford the milk thing in school. We were 6 kids,
Yeah.
And but I used to make. I eat for a living. I can cook Hungarian, German, and Italian. And I used to make him these big-ass sandwiches every day. But it was with the processed meats. And then his mom said, you got to cut back on them processed meats, which we did,
Yeah.
But, and he's healthy as an ox.
Yeah, I think the fresher the stuff is, the better.
Well,
Agreed.
It's going to be taken badly. I mean, you've seen how Jamie Oliver's school lunch plan worked out. The English hate him.
Yeah, well, you see, there are people who just want to eat terrible stuff. And ultimately, I think that this comes down to your own sense of personal responsibility. You can eat all that shit if you want to, but then it's going to come with diabetes.
My sister made a pasta sauce, being Italian, and she used this mince that was like little spirals.
Yeah?
And she fried the mince and put it in. It maintained that shape. And I'm eating it going, I don't exactly know what this is, but don't ever buy it again.
You didn't need...
You hear about that computer-made meat.
Yeah.
I don't know that it was. I'm not saying
Grown
it
in a
was,
petri
but
dish.
it didn't lose its shape.
You didn't need noodles
And
because
I was like,
they were already like noodles.
And I'm going.
horrific.
I begrudgingly ate it because she can cook as well, not as good as me, but but it was weird because you could taste the spirals while you're eating it, and I'm going something wrong here, something wrong. And when your body tells
Like
you
a
something
McDonald's
wrong.
burger
Listen,
that just doesn't ever die.
10 years later, it still looks.
Can I ask, like, in Hawaii, what's like the food culture like there? Do people eat out? Is it like, do you have to? Because I know in Ireland, you have to cook food because it's just so much cheaper.
Well, same with Hawaii, but it's quite cosmopolitan because you got Filipinos, Chinese, Japanese. You got your Tongans, so they all have their little shops and everything.
Sure.
But it's quite expensive. You go to the pick and pay, if you will, 2 bags, $125.
Deal.
That's 2,500 rand for
Yeah.
those mathematically challenged.
Wow.
Oh, you can get about 3 bags for that here now.
Yeah, that's what surprised me. I'm looking at these
these
prices.
prices
here
are
going, holy cow, how are the
insane.
people? That's why I sent a little note to your show going, I need to get on there because I'm looking at what's going on here. And I'm going, these prices are absolutely outrageous. Last time I was on your show, the olive oil jumped from like 98 rand to 198 rand. Now
Yeah.
it's 259 rand for extra virgin olive oil,
Yeah.
which is the best oil, by the way. The only oil you should
Well,
forget the
apparently
seed oil.
that's also a thing. People have been saying that the scam with olive oil is that most of it isn't olive oil.
Yeah, even in America, they have single destination. So all your olive oil, and they put a little. You mentioned that. Was that a little
Seal.
square thing for the computer? Take a
Oh,
photo.
QR code.
The QR code, yeah.
You can
Yeah.
take a picture of it and it tells you where they come from. But a lot of it, there's from Sao Paulo, all in this one bottle. And I've seen where they say, no, it's not necessarily really extra
Well,
virgin olive oil.
they're telling us now again. The canola oils and all those kinds of things
Seed
they put
oils,
into this are
not good.
very bad for you.
Yep.
These are not things you should be having.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think that we've got enough people around now who are doing their own research. And I don't mean like amateurs doing this at home, but I mean like scientists who are taking on establishment doctrine and saying, actually, we're going to look into this stuff. And as a result of the internet, you can't hide these things anymore. You know, it was possible before for big corporations to just tell people, no, sugar's great for you. Do you remember those ads? in the
Successful
80s?
doctors
smoking
smoke
doctors.
Camel.
Yeah, I remember. And they told us all that stuff. You can't do that anymore as easily.
They
because
say
now-
that that's what it's going to be like with alcohol eventually. A few
Well, we
decades,
know alcohol's
we'll
bad for us, but we
we'll look
sometimes-
back and go, how did we even drink? How did we put that in our bodies?
I think something's going to kill you eventually, and
No,
I
exactly.
frankly would rather have the stuff that gives me some fun along the way. You know, I don't want to live forever, but I would like to be healthy as long as possible.
Take a look at our parents. How old are our parents?
Yep.
They did all that stuff. You know?
Yeah, I mean it used to be my grandfather. Both my grandfathers used to have a whiskey when they got home from work every day. They used to drink like that every day. And it wasn't considered a problem then. You do that now, people are going to go, you should go and talk to somebody about this. You've got a problem. I mean, Churchill was drinking at 9 in the morning the whole way
That's
through the
right.
war.
I also just want to comment, since I've been back, like I went to shop the other day to get like a Buddy Coke, and it's like 18 rand.
Yeah.
So the prices have gone crazy.
They've really
It's
gone
insane.
mad. Yeah.
And I don't know how
insane.
people are going. You know, that's what I'm talking about right now. You know, we should get on this money thing because I keep seeing everybody. I stand by the tills and I see everybody pull out a card. Everybody's pulling out a card, and it's like what I said once before: is every time you use that credit card, you're digging a deeper hole with a bigger shovel. You don't feel it. I mean, we're tapping our way into being poor. Now, if you contemplate when you use your credit card and you go deeper in debt, if they came out with a 3-page loan application, every time you got deeper onto your credit card, you'd feel that.
Yeah.
But here now you're just tapping and you're getting all this cool stuff and you're spoiling your spoiled children. And you're going deeper and deeper and
Your
deeper.
dustbin
Now
lids.
you're going on vacation and you're going to get the Christmas menus with the new prices. And you're going to pay triple the accommodation. I'm going down to Cape Town. I'm going to visit Jim Miller, my old boss.
Yeah.
And Ollie, he's a model. My friend, his son's a model.
You know a
And
lot of
he's-
models.
He's well, you know, I like pretty people. I got to admit.
Who doesn't?
It's something,
You're going to be around ugly people if you could possibly help it.
and he's going to be down in Cape Town, so I'm going to be there the end of January, February, when the prices are normal again. You know, I could go down now, but I don't want to do that. You know, I like people and all that, but it's hard for me to, especially pay for food that I could make better. And you know, you
Yeah.
got all this money.
Yeah.
That's a problem for me because
So you see, the thing I didn't pick up on, and probably Leanne didn't either, I don't know. But when you're in an environment and you do things on a weekly basis, like going to shop for groceries or whatever, it's almost like that frog in the pot thing, where you know, if you warm it slowly, the frog doesn't jump out immediately. You throw a frog into a boiling pot of water, it's going to jump out straight away. But it doesn't realize it's cooking when it's in the slow burn. And I think that maybe happens because the two of you have come back, you've seen this huge increase in prices, which I wonder if most South Africans have even been aware of.
Oh, they are.
insane.
No, they are.
Yeah, no, I think they are because I'm
Yeah.
seeing these smaller bags. People go to the
You've
shops.
seen
You know,
how-
there's always that
Yeah.
guy who fills the cart or the woman who fills the cart and everything. But from what I see, and even at the Pick and Pay in Santon, there they have a smaller cart now as well. So it's a visual thing. You know what I mean? It looks like you fill it up. You're like, oh, look what I get. Yeah, well, you're going to pay that price, but it's not what that bigger cart was going to hold.
I mean, you've seen the competitiveness between
different
stores,
shops,
and it's people know, people can feel it. They can't buy as much as before. And I thought it was a worldwide problem because I see people
Well,
in
Americans are
Canada.
complaining.
Canada's battling.
Yeah.
South Africans have lived in Canada for decades are coming back.
Trump said a little joke about, he took a shot at Trudeau, who I'm not a fan of.
No.
He said about the 25% tariffs, and Trump told him, well, why don't you just become the 51st state and I'll make you the governor? I thought that was good. That's a Trump boy. That's another shot. He's still doing it. Total New Yorker.
Make Canada great again. That's what I say.
You know, they're overspending now on Christmas, and they don't realize what's coming, and this is the key. A lot of people are only going to recover in April, and you have to remember January.
Yeah.
You got school fees coming up.
Yep.
You know? And I mean, I see so many people just absolutely splurging and, again, buying stupid gifts and having fun, 1 month fun, 4 month misery. And you got to ask yourself, is it really worth it? And just a little bit of tweaking here and there, you know, is the way to do it. And what the problem in South Africa, the new problem is this two-pot retirement system.
Oh, very dangerous, right?
I blew 40 before I came to South Africa about a year before. They allowed me to touch my 401k for 2 reasons: new home purchase or continuing education. So I grabbed the continuing education, and I blew $40,000 in a year on I'm going to Africa and I'm never coming back parties. And that $40,000
Parties.
dollars, yes. Turned into, let's see, in 20 years, $269,000. In 30 years, $700,000.
That you would have had.
That I would have had.
If you hadn't taken it out.
That's right. So if 95% of working people don't have enough money at retirement now, and they're letting them tap their retirement, what's that say for them when they get, you know, in the aged community, or as we call them,
poor, very old people.
instead of senior citizens, seasoned citizens. They're using tomorrow's money today.
Yeah.
And there's a certain, you know, keeping up with the Joneses, Motsepis, the Naidus, that whole, you know, issue of, ooh, look what he drives at the new Jaguar and all that. I mean, I bought a new car, cash, thank you. They don't sell the Accords in this country. I'm a Honda guy, so I bought the Ballade RS. From Mitmac Motors. There you go. See ya. Talk to see ya when you get there. Great price. Negotiated as I do. I saved $30,000 on the car, which was a tremendous thing.
They couldn't wait to get rid of you.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
always, sure they saw Joe coming in. They're like, oh,
give him the car.
I need your manager. Okay, who's the principal? I need him.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the power.
Negotiate it down. Joe's like, there's a tiny little scratch there on that headlight. I'm not paying extra for that.
Well, look, I bought a used car. I didn't buy brand new.
That's a good thing.
You know, 1-year-old car, because I let the initial guy take all the hit, and that's the secret of it, you know.
Yeah.
But again, there were document fees and all these fees I'm not paying on there, you know. And I negotiated those off. Which was a surprise to me, because I was looking at the new Accords in Hawaii, and they're still charging over MSRP. So the car was $23,000. They add $6,000 price on top of it, just because supposedly the supply. And that's the other thing that's happening here now. They have a 96-month car loan in South Africa. Did you know that?
I didn't.
How many years is that?
8.
Jesus.
So your warranty long gone.
Wow.
And see,
And
what
the
people
interest must be insane.
Exactly, but the people don't understand. When you do this,
Heavy.
you have 8 years worth of life-altering decisions that are coming down the road. In 8 years, is your son or daughter going to be in university?
Yeah.
You have that coming down the road. They look at it as, I got this now, and I'm going to get the, you know, you might get a 3% increase in your
What
wages
if you
when
lose your
inflation's
job?
5.5%.
What if you end up in hospital?
Agreed. There's so many nuances which could occur on your finances and do, because shit happens.
Of course it
There's
does.
always
Yeah.
something that happens, but they don't see it as that. They say, and they've been coerced with blinkers, I can afford this payment. And it's absolutely outrageous. I mean, I just was shopping for medical aid, which I got to buy again now, and I looked at that price skyrocketed. And you know what really upsets me about insurance companies, and I've been anti-insurance the entire time I've been in South Africa, because they rip you off here.
Oh, yeah.
In America, you pay $50 a month, you get $250,000. You pay $50 a month for the rest of your life. Here, the premium goes up every year.
And you have to fight with them. That's,
Well,
that's one thing you taught me.
You should, yep.
You should actually go back every year in January, look at it, and go, I'm not paying this. Take that off.
Yep. And then you try to use COVID to say, oh, well, we had to pay out. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You had to pay it out. That's part of the insurance industry. They make so much money. But, you know, let's look at life insurance. You get R1,000,000 cover. What they do is the cover stays the same. So technically, your money halves in its buying power every 7 years. So R1,000,000 in 7 years is 500,000. In 14 years is 250, and in 21 years is 125,000 rand in purchasing power. That's what it's going to be worth. Meanwhile, your 500 rand premium, you're now paying 3,800 rand a month.
Yep.
Your premium goes up and the cover doesn't. Now there is a company out there that offers a static premium, and send me an email at employeedynamictraining.com. At gmail.com, and I'll tell you what company. I don't want to give them, you know, free advertising, but you need to go through all your insurances, your contents. This is the big ripoff. Your contents insurance on your house. Dump your house upside down, whatever falls is contents. They keep raising the premium, but your stuff's getting older. And you know, when I bought my 66-inch TV for $30,000 back in the day, 2 years later, it was 18,000.
Yeah.
So they go, oh, but the technology. No. So they keep raising all your premiums on all your insurances, and they shouldn't do it. So everybody needs to go in and get 3 different quotes, and the key is don't tell them what you're currently paying.
Yeah.
That's how you get the lower quote, and switch. This is it's a you know, an industry that has a lot of competition out there, and you need to do what's best for you, because if you think about it, you get a 3.5–4% raise, and I don't know what the raises were in South Africa, but you have to pay tax and all that, but your net money, now your premiums are going up at 10%.
Yeah.
So you got, what's the inflation rate currently in South Africa?
7.
8,
7.
something.
So you got
yeah.
-10 going to the policies, and you're -7 on everything you're purchasing. You're -17%. You're getting a 3.5% raise.
Yeah.
You need to be proactive and fix all that. And people don't. They just sit there. You know, it's like with my car insurance. I got Ryan. There you go, Ryan. There's your plug. I won't tell you the company. Send me an email. But my car insurance, they had from 3,300 rand a month with a 8,000 rand excess.
Yeah.
I currently pay 1,267 rand a month. Well, it's 1,267 rand a month with 0 excess with the company that I got. So by shopping around, that's per month.
Yeah.
Difference.
Yeah.
So by shopping around and doing your due diligence and your homework, you save yourself a lot of money. You just can't keep accepting it.
But you see, Joe, they also talk about, this is the thing I hate about insurance, is the no-claim bonus.
Yeah.
Because you want to stay with a company, and you want to get this no-claim bonus, and the longer you stay, the bigger the bonus becomes, and the more you won't claim, which is why I think it's so stupid. And then you won't leave and shop around because you want that no-claim bonus, which is it's pointless what insurance is.
Totally pointless, because they hold your, first off, you overpay for the insurance to get the no-claim.
Damn, and I was going to try and sell this segment to an insurance company, and now they're all running for the hills.
But then they give you money back, which accrued no interest.
Yeah.
So 5,000 rand today and 5,000 rand in 4 years is a different 5,000 rand again. You know what I mean? So you lost money. So although it's a no claim, but people do fall for that no claim bonus.
Yeah.
And now you switch. Get the lowest insurance out there.
Well, somebody says here they absolutely agree with you. Tamron, she says, shop around. It's so much better in the long term. And you don't have to feel loyal to an insurance company. You don't have to feel loyal to a
It's funny, we do
financial
that as well as
institution,
South
right?
Africans.
I remember when I got here in 96 and 97, some lady told me, I have been with Nedbank for 28 years. I go, by the time I'm done with this phone call, you're not going to be with them anymore. And I always have this saying about banks, don't take financial advice from people behind bulletproof glass.
More people make less money than you.
Yeah.
But it's
well,
like,
I've trained them. I know how much they make. That's why when they used to put the checks in the plastic, because they were taking the last check and writing it. See?
Right.
So, yeah. And I just went into, I won't mention the name of the bank, but they do have green initiatives. And I'm amazed at what happened. I went in there and I told, I need to do this. Oh, we can't do that. I went in to open up my business account again, and the guy goes, you can do that online. You're going to need an appointment. I go, but there's nobody in your office here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can do it online. But there's nobody in your office. Why don't you? Yeah, but you have to get an appointment.
It doesn't make
And
sense.
here's the best thing they did to me. I couldn't believe it. And boy, did I get upset. I've been paying my, I keep my bank accounts and credit cards here in this country in case I did come back, you know, and they switched my account to a pay-as-you-use account without my knowledge. So when I withdrew $5,000 from the ATM, they charged me 11% to do that from their ATM. So $55, and I go, whoa, what happened? Well, you were who changed me? Oh, well, I don't, he couldn't. I go,
something about your account being dormant.
However, it did work out for me because I don't use the account that much, and so maybe their algorithms did it or whatever. But you still need to notify them.
Yeah, Yeah, it should. There are a lot of people who allow automatic things to happen in terms of the decisions that are made about their money, right?
And you end up blaming yourself. It's like, oh, well, I didn't read the small print.
So many people don't even know what the debit orders are that are coming off their account.
Yeah, and it's all T's and C's. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? Yeah, read that. It's written by big corporate lawyers and not for your benefit. Although I don't read it either, to tell you the truth.
No.
So, but I also, by shopping around, getting things done.
Joe, what do you think? I mean, especially since, and you've only been back for a short while, but since you've been back, what do you think the biggest areas are? You mentioned insurance. Where else do people get screwed? And where are they not paying attention that they should be paying attention?
Well, I would say when you're reading the newspaper, look at who's writing the articles, because I keep seeing all these articles for like home purchases. Okay, to transfer costs in this country are absolutely outrageous.
Yeah,
absolutely outrageous. And I remember when I bought my first property, probably in about 2000. I told them I want a fixed rate interest loan, and they go, "We don't offer that." You what? You don't offer that, and that's what makes me angry about South Africa. To this day, you borrow $1 million for a very small property is what you'll get for that. Today, they keep changing that interest rate on you. That's wrong.
Even after you've taken the...
Oh, yeah, when interest rates go up, your home bond rate goes up. Your car rate goes up. They keep changing those things, and they keep doing that. I wish maybe even an American company would come here, because what they do in America is when they lower the interest rate, everybody refinances lower because you don't have those big transfer costs.
Right.
So if you're paying 4% and it goes down to 2.5%, they refi at 2.5%. And now they're locked in at 2.5.
Right.
But here they just rip you off with all these increases on, and somebody should come out with a fixed one, but they just keep doing it.
Well, I have one. I can think of one. It used to be a thing that people would be a bit of this keeping up with the Joneses stuff you talk about. People would be hugely impressed if you had holiday homes, right? You had a house at the sea, or you had a
that
house
you
at
owned.
the dam, or you had a house in the mountains, or whatever that you owned. What a stupid waste of money, especially in the era of Airbnb.
So where they're sitting dormant or vacant,
yeah, I mean,
for most of the year.
For a lot of people, they don't want other people to use them. They have municipal rates and taxes. They have water and electricity, even if you switch everything off when you leave there. And these things add up, and it ends up costing you an absolute fortune. And I know people who have like 2 or 3 of these houses, and it's just a dead loss. It's a bottomless pit of money. And even if you sell it, you just never get your value back.
I bought one after the 2008 crash.
Yeah?
It was about the end of 2009, and I called a guy in Marina Beach. That's my favorite. I'm South Coast. I like warm water. Sorry, Cape Town.
Yeah.
Keep that water. I know quite a cosmopolitan city, and I love the nightlife. Cold water? Nah. So I called this guy, plot, about 750 meters from the beach, 485,000. So,
okay.
I know your asking price is always your asking. You can negotiate. So I go, I'll give you 400. He goes, no. I go, next year I'll give you 350. So next year came up. He put it on for about like 420. I go, I'll give you 350. He goes, no. I go, next year I give you 300. And then about 8 weeks later, his lawyer called me and goes,
you just have to be patient.
He's going bankrupt. You want it for 110?
Oh,
give me your bank
my
details.
word.
So about 485,000 rand property for 110. But yeah, a lot of people, those second houses, they sold them like crazy after that 2008. And I remember 2005, 6, and 7 leading up to it. I used to tell people, don't buy houses, don't buy. And that's what we just alluded to a minute ago. Yeah. When you start reading these articles, there's always, look who wrote it. It's a property company that wrote it saying, now's a good time. I got news for you. My buddy Paulie, who owns what's that? Michelangelo.
Yeah.
He owned Vel de Vie. He sold all that. People are fleeing Johannesburg. And look at all the
Oh, yeah.
to
You could
let
buy-
for sale. Yeah, they're fleeing Johannesburg, and you keep telling now's a good time to buy property. No, it's not. And with a 30-year mortgage bond now, so they have 30-year bonds now in South Africa, and they said they're only going to sell them to new buyers under 45 years old. And if you contemplate that, at 45, 30 years, put you at 75.
Yeah.
To pay it off, and that's something everybody should do. Renegotiate all your insurance premiums. Take that money you just saved and just plop it straight in the bond. You will get the best interest rate you will ever get. Most people defeat the purpose of their own finances by they're trying to save some money in a bank or in some investment, and a bank never beats inflation, so guaranteed loss. Last 30 years, guaranteed loss saving in a bank. You got to keep a minimum of 22,000 Rand in the bank to make enough interest just to pay your fees.
That's
so
unbelievable.
you really aren't making anything, But you're saving at 5%. You're paying credit cards at 23 to 27%. You're paying a car loan at 14. You're going backwards, is what it is. So it's a fictitious savings, and people even try. My unit trust last year did 13,87. Cool. I don't have any debt.
Yeah.
Well, then I beat inflation. But if I had 21, 26% credit card debt and I'm getting 13, I'm going nowhere. I'm going backwards. And so people need to understand that. You think you're saving money, but you're actually losing money. So get out of debt first. And as I always say,
how do you respond to people like Yonda in the comments? Yonda says, "We're all going to die. Why keep the money for someone else?"
I agree. I agree. I told my parents when they moved to Las Vegas when they retired with 2 homes under their belt. They lost both homes, and I said, spend the money. I bought a bumper sticker. We're spending our children's inheritance. Don't leave them anything. Don't leave your kids anything. That's what people do in this country. They got these life insurance policies, and as I said, you start out at $500, and then in 30 years you're paying $3,900 a month. Well, I've had it for so long, and I want to leave the kid. You want to leave your kid? Give them a good education and send them out. That's what I did to my son. He's doing a second master's degree now. He's the head of crypto for Purple Group, my son. You met him at the Hokai Flies that one day.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I'm anti-crypto. I'm a gold and silver guy.
Are you? So you have a bit of gold and silver? Like
gold and silver, yes indeed.
Silver in me.
I brought some in luggage, and it looked like little pieces of dynamite. I got flagged at O'Hare. I got flagged at what's this?
Okay, but silver, how's that done?
Well, they're J.P. Morgan was fined like almost $1 billion for gold manipulation. They manipulate it. There's like 61 pieces of paper that say they own that 1 ounce of silver with ETFs, warrants, and that type of stuff.
Right.
But silver is 62% commercial usage. Example: there's 500 ounces of silver in 1 Tomahawk cruise missile.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they use it for photovoltaic. The Indians. Dot, not feather. They
not feather. Yeah.
They have bought huge amounts of silver because they're into photovoltaics, the stuff on your roof. They're competing with China on this. Yeah, solar stuff. So, and now Samsung has come out with a new car battery that you can charge your car in 19 minutes.
Huh.
And a huge amounts of silver in there. So silver is not only a wealth creator, but it's 62% of it is used in commercial. And they say that they're drawing more out of the silver market than they can mine. And silver's a byproduct, so they don't mine silver. So they say silver could do 300. When you look at what gold has done, I think it's up 24% since the beginning of 2024.
Yeah, gold's been
but they say silver's going to 10 times. So I have much more silver than gold. And I'm hoping that happens because that'd be nice. I like it, and it's beautiful. I buy silver maple leaves from Canada.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because I heard that in the American Eagles, there's a tracking device.
Oh, okay. So this is a
because remember what's his
theory.
name he confiscated all the gold back in the day in America,
Right.
And so and when you look at American Eagle and the gold or the silver maple leaf, it's cheaper for the silver maple leaf. You're just buying the ounce of silver.
Yeah,
that's all you're buying.
actual,
So why pay more? For the eagle? But that's what they do. So that's what I say. Get out of debt First, take the credit cards out of your wallet. Hey, you know, you want to get rich. Here's a good one. You could play the lottery. Oh, wait, but I think I remember reading something here that Minister Parks Tao revealed the National Lotteries Commission spent over 73 million rand on litigation and disciplinary inquiries involving past and current staff. Almost 13 million rand was spent on litigation involving whistleblowers. And then there was that one, I think it was a woman who stole all that money and bought houses from the lottery.
Right.
What could go wrong? You know?
We were talking about this earlier, though, and I wanted to have your comment on this. Easy come, easy go, right? There are a lot of people who think that if someone pays an amount erroneously into your account, that you should go and spend that. It's just your lucky day, but they're going to get that back from you.
They did. They did it to me when I sold the old, and Jim Miller, you'll remember this, the old 1985 Audi 500. They triplicated the price and put it in my account.
Oh, yeah?
And, you know, I always told Jim when I went and worked for him, because Financial Fitness was when I used to work for them, I said, you know, I'll never steal, I'll never lie, I'll never do anything that'll cost this business anything. And so I went into him and I go, look, they triplicated the amount that I sold my car for. He goes, Joe? I go, no, I'm not going to keep it. I just want to see how long before they find it. And it was about 2.5 weeks, and I was like, gone. So they finally found it, though. Huh?
And the other thing you got to remember is that the revenue service, SARS in this country, they can go straight into your account. They don't need permission. If they think you owe more than you paid, they can take it from you.
That's
I mean, I think that's criminal. But of course, they have a monopoly on.
Yeah, but that's why the criminal is their advertising. They buy these big billboards for SARS.
Don't forget to file.
Yeah, come on, you're using our money for that. You know, South Africa has some financial issues, if I recall.
Oh, just a few, and some not so honest people who are running those finances some of the time.
Agreed. That's why I hope with the coalition government.
Wow,
because I followed it. Yeah, but you know, it's power. That power will. I mean, I watched it in America, and you were talking earlier about, you know, the people like, well, we had George Bush, H.W., and then Jr., and then there was Bill Clinton, and then Hillary. Forget this family. Well, you had Trudeau, the old man, now Justin. Forget this family stuff. You had now Bashar Assad and Hafez Assad. You know, just because you're in the family doesn't make you president. They need to stop that. But these people will not give up power. They stay in there, and Facebook almost kicked me off over it. I told you they got to die for them to lose power. They will not give it up.
No,
I see that. Who's the one guy I keep seeing? He keeps moving from minister to minister. Fikile Mbalula.
Oh, yeah.
Minister to minister. The minister, he's his minister here. He's minister.
Now he's Secretary General now. Do people live very well in Ireland? I mean, are they living like South Africans do?
So there's parts that do. The guys who are rich are like super rich, and then obviously the middle class I wouldn't say is I don't know, it's not that, it's not like the middle class in South Africa.
And they're not as showy, right?
Not really.
No.
I mean, the rich guys kind of have like Ferraris chilling on their property with no gates.
Yeah.
And anything like that. But I actually saw a comment that popped up earlier. I wanted to ask you about that because I think it was Matt who made a comment and said, what about forever renting? Because it's nearly impossible, and I know because he's saying it's nearly impossible to put a deposit down on a house. And I know from being there, I mean, if you want to buy like a shit house, is 250,000 euro.
Yeah.
And it's, and when I say a shit house, I mean a house that's super old and needs fixing up. And it's a house I definitely wouldn't stay in, and that's 250. That's €250,000 euro. It's insane.
I blame the real estate agents for that, and they got their comeuppance after the 2008 crash because a lot of them went out of business. I'll give you a great example. Remember that property I owned on 11th Street in Parkmore?
Yeah.
I paid $450,000 for it in 2000. In let's see, it's 2018, I sold it for $3.45 million.
So that was good.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great. And see, that's what they do. They go, okay, here, this house, okay, it's 1.2 million for you. Okay, now you want to buy a house? His is we'll get you 1.4 million. Okay, your house we'll get you 1.6 million. You're right next door to one another.
Yeah.
So that's them, because everybody wants to get the most because real estate is a great investment. No, it's not. When you look at what you really pay over 20 years and now 30 years, pay it off in 7 years. That's what we've been preaching. Get rid of all your debt, pump everything into your home bond, and you'll get 150 to 200% return on your home bond. And you can always borrow against it in case of an emergency. So again, just think about this. On a 5-year home bond, on a 20-year home bond, the first 5 years is almost all interest. So I don't even know what a home bond interest rate or a monthly payment is right now, but let's call it $15,000 a month. So you're paying $15,000 a month in interest. What are you making on your savings? You're making $15,000 a month?
Not a chance.
No. Put it into the bond. Pay off the bond. Because if you were all out there right now, unless you're driving, close your eyes and imagine being debt-free.
Yeah.
So are you saying we should look at buying housing over in Europe, or are you?
No,
are you
won't be able to afford it.
No, I know that.
I took $1 million out of this country, and it turned into $50,000, which went like
You're
that.
joking.
No, that's the exchange rate.
That's just the exchange rate? So
Yeah.
did they add all kinds of penalties as well? 'Cause
Well,
you
no,
can
there's
take $1 million.
commissions and stuff
you
like
can take
that.
$1 million out.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you own a piece of Bitcoin now, it's $100,000. So it makes any South African a millionaire.
You know, even though my son is like the head of crypto, I can't put money in a computer. You know, that
No,
Sam
no,
Bankman-Fried guy, and you got the two girl. You know, anybody who bought that deserved, like you said earlier, they deserve that.
Absolutely.
Dogecoin. I mean, I went into the Donald Trump one when DJT, and it shot up. You know, and I go, okay, it's going up. Boom, right back down. I said, okay, I made doubled my money. I got out, you know, but I was going, it's going up, but I will not. Silver and gold, and I want to give a warning to the young people out there. You know, a lot of brokers out there want to sell you retirement annuities. If you have something with your work, and chances are, you know, you put in 10%, they match you 10%. That's 100% return on your money right there. But remember, tying your money up in additional retirement funds, you're going to have to buy a house one day. You're going to have kids. You're going to have, now you can touch some of it. But don't tie your money up long term because, again, if you're paying 15,000 Rand a month on a home bond and it's all interest, what's your retirement program making for you? Did you make 15,000 a month? So you go backwards. That's why these people always say, I have this feeling I'm not getting ahead in life. Well, you need to start listening to yourself because you're not.
Well, you said something just now, and I think we must kind of end on this one because it's such a good point, is Mo Rabbit says, I've been debt-free for 15 years. No accounts apart from the internet. Cell phone on pay-as-you-go. If I need something, I buy it cash, and if I can't, I don't. Servicing debt is a financial and lifestyle killer. You won't disagree with it.
Totally agree with it. I mean, as you heard, I flew business class from O'Hare to Heathrow. I didn't even pay for the ticket. I got this credit card with British Airways. I use it for everything and always have. So I fly internationally free, and I enjoy it. But I pay the credit card off every month.
So you're not completely against having credit cards as long as
a
you are putting
payment
the money
facility,
back.
but you don't let the interest start to
Bingo.
build.
And you know
There we
something
go.
important point. Some people use a debit card. And just remember this. If you use a debit card and there's any kind of fraud, the bank has to open up an investigation and they'll freeze those funds, and your money is tied up with a credit card. It's immediately forgiven and you move on. So I try to tell people, don't use a debit card like you use a credit card. Use a credit card and then just move the money electronically every month, you know. And then in Hawaii, they're still writing checks. They still have banks where people go in.
Wow.
That's so funny.
So
in order for me to
strange.
transfer money, I had to have a special authorization from the bank manager to make a transfer to another bank. I'm going, what? It's so third world. When you go to the pub, I used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, and you give them your credit card, they run away with it. First problem. Then they come back with 2 slips. Now you write the tip on that slip, and you get your card, your slip, but then they go off with that slip again, and it sits on there, and all of a sudden it changes on your credit card statement. Third world, they don't have the little tap thing that comes to your,
It's
your,
a pre-auth.
your desk.
Yeah.
We don't think about that, but actually we're kind of more evolved. I still think it's
I
so
agree.
funny.
Oh,
It's so
yeah.
funny that Americans still pay each other with a check.
Yep. Yep.
But you don't have the right to go into your banking app and make a transfer from an account to an account or to quickly pay someone
In America.
in America.
No, I had to have special authorization
Yeah.
because I got a
Yeah.
couple bank
Crazy.
accounts. Because what's happening with America, it's turning into the Zimbabwean dollar. People don't realize all the countries selling treasuries and the American dollar's under a lot of stress and bricks. As you know, now they won't do the gold-backed currency, but they are trying to eliminate the dollar, and you can't just keep printing money. Gareth, what's the largest Zimbabwean dollar ever printed? Do you remember?
Didn't we get up
Isn't
to
it a trillion?
Higher,
Really?
How much was the biggest one?
100 trillion.
100 trillion.
I've got a
Zim
couple of
dollars.
trillion. Yeah, my mom's from Zim, so I know.
I keep them next to my toilet in case I run out of paper. Be careful, paper cuts hurt.
Can I scare you quickly?
Go on.
Just because of the housing shortage in Ireland, the rent is astronomical.
Yeah.
So just to give you an idea, I'll be completely open. I share a house with a roommate of mine, like a mate of mine from South Africa. We pay €2,300 a month, which is almost
And you're an
50,000
hour out of
rand a month.
town.
And I'm an hour out of town.
Right.
And it's like a 3-bedroom house,
Yep.
fully furnished and all that. But just to give you an idea of how much things cost, like my sister's moved into a place here that's probably like 13 or 14,000 a month, and
Jesus.
ours is almost 50,000 rand a month. When you bring it back
Yep.
and you convert it, it is actually so scary.
Yep.
So I bet you one of the things that the two of you missed was not having to pay that kind.
Agreed.
outrageous
Well, the
rent.
other thing was beer. $7 minimum price for beer. That's 140 rand for a beer.
Yeah, it's a
140
fiver.
bucks.
It's a fiver. Yeah.
I was at Bootleggers the other day. I was getting a coffee, but they said after 4 p.m., $25 or 25 rand beer. I'm going, holy cow!
That's good
I was paying
value.
140 bucks for a beer. You know, and it's outrageous.
I bought the whole family Nando's when I landed. Like I bought the whole family. I think it was like 650 rand or 700 rand. It came to like €30. I have a steak in Adair. Like I just went there one time to like celebrate a birthday or whatever. I paid €34 for a steak. Canton called me and he laughed at me. Because Canton said, I would like my 100 rand steak all day.
Absolutely. And that's also good here, right? You get good meat, and it's at a reason.
I'll
It's
tell
still
you what.
expensive, but it's a reasonable
I'll tell
price
you what.
compared to everywhere else.
I know I took my son to Club Med at La Punta Conanier in Mauritius.
Yeah.
And I was chewing the meat for about 10 minutes before you can swallow it, you know. And even in America, like I told you, that pasta, that mince. With the
Oh my God!
It was like cornbreads. But yeah, got here. And then Vetsky, my son's mom told me, here's where you go for the meat. And although I'm a Hokai Fleisch guy, where I met you one time, because they got Watertand Boerewors, which I believe is the best. I've had Boerewors. I've been here 26 years. The best Boerewors I ever had comes from that place. So
Joe
I always find
Cimino,
that.
what a pleasure to have you back. I'm very glad you're in South Africa. Ryan, I'm very glad you could pop in this morning, and I hope
Thank
you
you
have a
for
good
having
stay
me.
while you're still here visiting.
Sorry?
And, well, while you're still here, you're going back to Ireland after
Yeah,
Christmas?
I'm going just after Christmas. Yeah, I got to
Nice.
Get a
Well, nice.
tan.
back to the.
Nice
oh
that
yeah.
you get to spend the Christmas with the family.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's pretty miserable over there right now, so yeah.
Like
Weather-wise.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I left on the day it started snowing, so it was very miserable.
Yeah,
and
so did I.
Yeah, yeah. And
but I was
all the
with
cars
England.
are sliding, and
Yeah.
they didn't prepare for it. Like they didn't put salt in the roads or anything. So cars and buses couldn't make it. I mean, I was meant to catch a bus to go to the airport to Dublin, and I was left on the side of the road. I had to get in my car and drive my car to my cousin in Kildare, and then catch an Uber from there, which cost me €110.
Even though you
to
worked
drive
for
an
them.
hour to the airport,
Ouch.
which is insane.
Ouch.
Okay.
I want to throw out a Christmas gift, Gareth.
Oh, that's
There we
nice.
go.
Go on.
I-
Go on, Santa Jim.
I've been training companies. You know, we used to do individuals, and then we went to companies. I went from the Reserve Bank. We trained to the Treasury, to IBM International. But what I'd like to do is, if you want to, in January, I would like to offer your employees a free seminar
Okay.
on all the things that they're doing wrongly.
Yeah.
And what they can do to fix it, and it's designed to get the feeling of what's really happening to the staff. I mean, a lot of companies lose people because they need to earn more money. They're not coming into work. They
Right.
do all this stuff. Well, if you could get your people, financially aware of what they're doing and help them fix it, they become happier, more
where can
productive
we get
employees.
hold of you?
Employee dynamic training at gmail.com.
Employee Dynamic Training, one word,
EDT.
at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Awesome.
It's a free seminar. I'll
Very
talk
good.
to you on the phone. Send me an email. Take the credit cards out of your wallet. You got school fees in January. Mic drop.
All right, there we go. So just
Don't have
in time
children.
to ruin the holidays. Joe Cimino's back, ladies and gentlemen. Leigh-Ass Mol, thank you very much. Ryan, we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for the visit. Joe, great as always. And have a good Monday, everybody. Don't go spending money you don't have.